Good morning. We have a lot to talk about, so let's pop a clutch, grab a gear, squall tires, and haul ass to our seats, and we'll get this show on the road.
This is a true crime discussions channel. We speculate. This is all just speculation. Because it's true crime, it's for mature audiences only. There will be no children allowed, no exceptions. Everything on this channel falls under fair use. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. It's free.
Need to make a new one of those. I know that Willow and Wyatt Bryant were found, but they weren't in that one. They were in another one. Anyway, let's start off with the new news about Elijah Vu. Possibly Elijah Vu, I should say. And I find this in the Bible. It says, I believe, speaking shall receive. I think it was Friday. I was talking about how nobody's talking about Elijah Vu. And then we found out, I think it was yesterday, which was Sunday, possibly Saturday night, that human remains were found. So this article is from 12 WISN ABC. It says, Two Rivers authorities examine human remains found amid search for Elijah Vu. Authorities in Two Rivers are examining human skeletal remains found on private property as they continue the search for missing boy Elijah Vu. This one is from 5 hours ago. I don't think anything has been released about if it's him or what else going on with that.
Is a caboodle? Okay. It's a funny word. Well, whatever it is, if it involves PDFs, Acrobat's got it. Give it a try.
Give Acrobat a try, y'all.
Manitowoc County, just a few miles away from a 3-year-old boy that vanished nearly 7 months ago. Elijah Vu was last seen in the city of Two Rivers on February.
All right, I'm just going to start.
Breaking news at 10, human remains found in Manitowoc County, just a few miles away from a 3-year-old boy that vanished nearly 7 months ago. Elijah Vu was last seen in the city of Two Rivers on February 20th. Police and volunteers have conducted repeated searches, but now the Manitowoc County Sheriff says a hunter found remains near a quarry on the.
So yeah, it says that police swarm quarry. I'm going to turn on closed captions. Because I unfortunately there's nobody in here and I don't know if you can hear it. I'll just start it over one more time. It's only been 10 seconds.
That breaking news at 10, human remains found in Manitowoc County, just a few miles away from a 3-year-old boy that vanished nearly 7 months ago. Elijah Vu was last seen in the city of Two Rivers on February 20th. Police and volunteers have conducted repeated searches, but now the Manitowoc County Sheriff says a hunter found remains near a quarry on the city's west side. News Chopper 12 providing an exclusive look at the investigation scene. 12 News' Emily Polfall joining us now live. Emily, to be clear, police have not said if the remains are Elijah's.
Right. Law enforcement officials have not connected the remains found near here to Elijah's case. We're right near the Girl Scout Camp Manitou, and a camp official tells me that the law enforcement activity is on a nearby private property. News Chopper 12 was up in the air flying over the scene before it got dark out. Take a look at this. Law enforcement set up a command center with what looks like large lights and a four-wheeler inside the wooded area. There's also a tent set up and crime scene tape. The Manitowoc County Sheriff's Office says a deer hunter found human skeletal remains on private property yesterday. Officials aren't saying the age, gender, or race of the remains. The sheriff's office did acknowledge, though, the ongoing search for Elijah Vu, but again said that at this point they're not connecting these remains to his case.
So if the sheriff's office found the remain, or was notified of the remains and referenced Elijah Vu, that means that the skeletal remains they found are going to be that of a small child that would be the size of Elijah Vu. And, unless it's something from some other missing child from decades ago or something to that effect, it would be Elijah Vu because, it could be another missing child. I don't know if any in that area, if any children that are of that age range and that would have skeletal remains that were that small would be in that area for it to be them. So I would think it's more than likely Elijah Vu. I haven't heard of any other small children going missing in Two Rivers or the surrounding area. So unless it's, a child that's been missing for some years or something, it's probably him. It does bother me that they were skeletal, but it's also been 7 months. I don't know the rate of decomposition. So that's something that I would need to take into account, something I would need to look into.
Still, that hasn't kept the locals from talking about Elijah and the difficult past 6 months.
Such a big area that, they could be there and you don't see them. And the drones, and they went way above and beyond to find him. And everybody in town's been, searching and waiting for him.
If it's not him, it's still some other kid.
Look, this lady's on the same thought path I am. If it's not him, it's still another child, which is good to have found. But I don't know of any other child that would have the bone mass in size that Elijah Vu would. Also, just by the way, I have submitted a request for all information regarding this case. I just submitted it last night. So this week I'll go live on what I get back if they send me anything.
Good, apparently.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just sad no matter what.
Emily, you were able also to get a hold of one of Elijah Vu's family members tonight.
Right. I spoke with Linda Vu, Elijah's aunt, earlier this evening. She says that she personally has not heard anything from law enforcement regarding the remains found here. Law enforcement officials do say that the identification process for
I'm sorry it keeps doing that. My internet is fantastic. I don't know what's going on. StreamYard, I mean, it's to the point that a lot of people aren't even using StreamYard anymore.
For these remains is going to be lengthy, so they're asking for the public's patience.
Emily Pofall reporting live from Two Rivers. Thank you, Emily. As we mentioned, Elijah Vu was last seen February 20th in Two Rivers. He was 3 years old at the time. Law enforcement and volunteers have conducted repeat searches in the nearly 7 months since then. Elijah was staying with his mother, Katrina Bauer's boyfriend, Jesse Vang, when he disappeared. Bauer and Vang are both charged with child neglect, but not directly with Elijah's disappearance. 12 News has followed the search for Elijah Vu from the start of the investigation. You'll find all of those stories right now on our 12 News app.
So I do want to say I don't remember. I mean, it's been a long time since it's been since February since I've heard about this case because nobody's been talking about it. But what I do remember from the case is that the boyfriend had the little boy. And I remember the mother was using the boyfriend's car to run around. And to me, it felt like she was like delivering dope or something because she'd be running around getting money from people at gas stations and then coming back and bringing it to him. And anyway, the boyfriend said that Elijah needed to become a man. So he would have him standing in the corner for hours upon end all day. He would withhold food from him. I think if he was good, he got to eat some Cheerios, if I remember correctly. And I remember that there was text messages where the mother came over and was supposed to basically give her boyfriend some, and she was talking about how Elijah would see her, and the boyfriend decided to blindfold him and put him to sleep on the couch when the mother came over. This case is horrible. You do have to take into account the boyfriend Jesse Wang's cultural beliefs, because people who have the same cultural beliefs that he does, it's a small population of some kind of ethnicity or people in Asia, and they're extremely strict on children. I remember reading how Child Protective Services has a whole entire protocol for people of that religion, and not religion necessarily, but of that ethnicity, because of how they are with their children. They're very strict on them. That's all I can remember off the top of my head. And again, I'm just speaking off the top of my head. I don't remember everything that was said. I'll have to look into it and pull that up. I do want to do a stream just on Elijah Vu. Maybe this week. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. Maybe this week we can go through and just look at the case. Maybe I can do that either later tonight or in the morning. We can look at the case and what we know so far. And then when I get more information from the police department, I'll share that with you. I'm going to copy this link real quick and post it in the comments in case anybody comes in and would like to join me. Maybe if my computer will let me. Lordy, Lordy. Let me clear my throat. All right. Goodness gracious. All right. So there's the link if anybody wants to join. Let's continue reading this article. Two Rivers, Wisconsin. Human skeletal remains were discovered on private property in the town of Two Rivers, Manitowoc County, on Saturday, according to the Manitowoc County Sheriff's Office. The Sheriff's Office said a local deer hunter found the remains and immediately alerted law enforcement. Sheriff Dan Hartwig stated that the investigation is ongoing and authorities are unable to provide specific information about the race, sex, or age of the remains at this time. Sheriff Hartwig acknowledged the ongoing case of Elijah Vu, a 3-year-old who went missing from Two Rivers, February 20th. However, he emphasized that they cannot confirm any connection between the discovered remains and Vu's disappearance. He said, determining the identity will be a lengthy process, Hartwig said. We appreciate the public's patience and understanding as we continue the investigation. The sheriff's office stated that no additional information will be released at this time, with further updates to be provided as they become available. The development comes months after Elijah Vu's disappearance. Vu's mother, Katrina Bauer, and her boyfriend, Jesse Vang, are in custody, facing child neglect charges related to the case. Vang is reportedly the last person to see Vu before he went missing. The investigation into Vu's disappearance has involved extensive searches and a $40,000 reward for information. Let me pull up, see what I can pull up about what I was talking about. About his ethnicity or cultural beliefs would be a better term. CULTURALBELIES. Okay, so we got the Independent, new claims of abuse. Now, I'm not sure. Okay, you can see it good. I'm not sure how old this is. I know the web was only 5 hours old. Excuse me. So let's read this by the Independent real quick. So, new claims of abuse against a missing Elijah Vu 3 emerge as mother's friend due in court. Jesse Vang is due back in court on Thursday, now charged with chronic child neglect. This was Wednesday, the 20th of March. And we'll see what, okay, I remember this press conference. So we'll watch this real quick. It is loading an ad.
Please come forward. Your courage, your compassion.
Hold on,
to
sorry.
anyone who may have information about Elijah's whereabouts. We plead with you to please come forward. Your courage, your compassion, your willingness to speak up may hold the key to Elijah's safe return.
I don't know. Again, I don't have anybody in here, so I don't know if you can hear it, but she's asking people to come forward, and she's saying any information you have could hold the key to Elijah's safe return. Anybody with information, please come forward.
Every piece of information will help bring us one step closer to bring Elijah back.
Every piece of information will help bring us one step closer to bring Elijah back.
Back to our family where he belongs.
Back to our family where he belongs.
To those who may have information, your assistance is just not a contribution, but a lifeline of hope.
To those who may have information, your assistance is not just a contribution, but a lifeline of hope.
I want everybody to continue to help us to look for my grandson. I want
everyone to continue to help us to find my grandson.
grandson to be home with my family. So I want everybody to continue. Don't stop.
She wants to bring him home to her family. She's tearfully asking people to please continue. Don't stop.
Searching for
him.
Baby Elijah.
For her baby Elijah.
To be safe and with my family.
To help bring him home safe and with her family. This is his paternal grandmother. Or the grandmother on the father's side.
We love my grandson.
Please help her locate her grandson. Okay.
Can help you figure out which contractors may be right.
No, thank you. But I guess some people don't understand. No, thank you. All right. So as we continue on, A 3-year-old Wisconsin boy was reportedly pictured wearing a blindfold and with bruises on his face just days before he was reported missing a month ago. An updated criminal complaint against the man Elijah Vu was staying with, Jesse Vang, was published on Wednesday, a day before the 39-year-old is due in court and charged with chronic neglect of a child. Elijah's mother, Katrina Bauer, says she sent him to stay with Mr. Vang on the 12th of February, around a 2.5-hour drive from their Wisconsin Dells home in Two Rivers. What allegedly followed was a series of, quote, disciplinary tactics to address what Miss Bauer felt was Elijah's bad behavior, including lengthy timeouts and requiring to pray or repeatedly say he was, quote, sorry, mommy. This is, yeah. It basically says, what I said in greater detail and with more details. But yeah, I remember this now with the sorry mommy. That shit broke my heart. Continuing on. In the updated complaint seen by The Independent, new messages between Miss Bauer and Mr. Vang show discussions around disciplining the boy and the times he was left without anyone caring for him. I told you, trust me. I make sure he hates me and being here, Mr. Vang reportedly told the mother on the 18th of February. She responded, don't want him to hate you, just fear you. However, Mr. Vang reportedly told Miss Bauer not to worry and said that someone had to be the bad person. I know, but either way, he can fear you and respect you, Miss Bauer replied. With Mr. Vang responded that Elijah did fear him, but he didn't respect me. Now I'm making him respect me. I don't know how you could respect a monster. Look at that baby. He is so cute. Such a handsome baby. The complaint also says that a few days before, on the 13th and 14th of February, Miss Bauer had visited the Two Rivers apartment and took a photo of Elijah with a blindfold over his eyes and bruising on his face as he lay on a bed. Why not? At this point, she had allegedly left a 6-year-old girl, believed to be her daughter, outside in a cold car. Another photo, taken on the 15th of February, showed the boy standing in a corner in his apparently full diaper and nothing else, with his hands in a praying position. The images are part of newly revealed communications between the pair, along with cell phone tracking data showing the moments they met in between their two homes in the city of Manitowoc. At one point, on the 16th and 17th of February, Elijah was reportedly left behind while the couple met and traveled to a bar and a gas station. Law enforcement said they had found no record of anyone else caring for him at the time. The updated complaint comes a day before Mr. Vang is due back in court, as well as on the 1-month mark of Elijah being reported missing. Mr. Vang told Two Rivers Police Department that he had gone for a nap on the morning of the 20th of February and that Elijah was gone when he woke up. A vast search effort has been underway in the town as well as the surrounding area, with the only sign of Elijah coming in the form of his red and white plaid blanket, confirmed as his on Monday. I don't think there's anything else. I'm going to check and see real quick if we can pull up his cultural beliefs, because it has to do with that. My goodness, are you okay? Okay, I don't know about the cultural beliefs. There's something to that though. I can't remember. I'll work on pulling that up today. So what else do we got? Oh, let's pull up the Kentucky. I know there was a presser on this. I don't know why it's not updated. Let's see. There was a presser. We'll read this real quick, and then I'll look on YouTube for that presser real quick. So it says suspect in Kentucky freeway shooting bought weapon legally that morning, officials said. Joseph A. Couch, the man authorities have named as a suspect in a Kentucky freeway shooting that left 7 injured, bought the weapon used in the incident legally on the morning of the shooting, authorities said Sunday night. Laurel County Sheriff's Commander, yeah, there's the presser. I think it's down there, that video. Oh, this is ABC 6, by the way. I guess today's going to be an ABC kind of day. Laurel County Sheriff's Commander Richard Darlamaple said at Sunday night's news briefing that Couch purchased about 1,000 rounds of ammunition, most of which has been recovered, ABC News reported. The suspect remains at large. Oh, okay, I thought they had him. The suspect remains at large despite a massive search in the area of Saturday's shooting north of London, Kentucky. The shooting unfolded around 5:30 p.m. local time, Eastern Standard Time, on Saturday evening, officials said. Arriving deputies initially found 9 vehicles had been shot in both the north and southbound lanes of I-75. Laurel County Sheriff John Root said at a news conference late Saturday night, but Sunday night that number had jumped to 12 vehicles, according to officials. Root said deputies found 5 people with serious gunshot wounds, including one who was shot in the face. Oh my God. He said one vehicle contained 2 people who were shot. So let's see what they have to say here. This was the presser I was looking for. I'll make it big.
Questions? We're still searching, and we're going to continue to search until it gets dark, until it becomes dangerous for us to be in the woods. We've not had any luck so far. No trace so far. No information or evidence that's at the scene to indicate that it's there, but we believe that he's there.
At what point do you expand the search parameters? And do you have any more information about like what that parameter is looking like?
Well, we're expanding it as we search, as we go along, and as time permits, and as as it gets dark, we just can't be in the woods anymore.
You said earlier that some of his actions appear planned. Expand on that a little bit.
Well, let's look at the whole situation. The car is abandoned up there. He abandons his weapon that he used, and he's apparently still in that area. It's probably one of the most remote exits along the interstate. It just looks like it was a planned event.
Planned for that spot. You're saying.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Planned for that spot.
Because of the remoteness and the ability to all that.
Correct. Yes.
You mentioned earlier that you recovered a phone. I believe the battery had been taken out of it.
That's so we can't ping.
Sure. But do you think that he's using telecommunications in some capacity, or social media, or?
We think it's extremely possible. Yes, sir. We will stay until it gets dark, and we anticipate being right back up there in the morning. And again, we have a lot of resources out there, and for us to continue to use those resources at the scene, we obviously believe that he's still in that area.
Has a decision been made about closing schools?
The Laurel County Schools and East Bernstadt, which is an independent district, have both closed for tomorrow. Yes.
When you say that you're packing up for the night, do you withdraw all? Can you just kind of explain what
Yeah,
the overnight patrol looks like?
just the people that's on the ground in the immediate search area. We're going to continue to contain the area. We're going to continue to have people in the woods. We're not actively searching, of course, but in strategic positions to observe. And we're also going to have people down next to the service station. What if he tries to come down and buy him a pop or whatever? You know, we want to be there. But we're going to have the area contained as best that we can.
Are you still hopeful you're going to find him tonight?
I hope we do. I would love it if we found him. Just because as this continues, it becomes more stressful for the community. It becomes more stressful for the officers that are there because we're looking, and we're trying to find him, and we haven't found him, and it's just stressful for everybody.
Is there a chance that he's not in the area?
It's very possible, yes, sir, but not probable.
Why not probable?
Because of some other information that we have that we cannot release. That's the nicest way I can say that.
I'm sorry, you didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, that's okay.
Would it be accurate to say that you probably won't move from that spot unless you get a report that he's been seen in Knox County or some credible report that he's been seen somewhere else?
Correct, yes. And you know, when we do get tips, and we are getting them in other locations in the Tri-County area, we've had numerous tips. So I saw him just now. I saw him at the grocery store. I saw him at Walmart, and we followed up on the leads. I'm not saying don't call us because maybe one of those leads will pan out. Call us and we'll check it because that's what we do. But we still think that he's in that area up there.
What is the fact that you're getting so many tips from elsewhere say to you, though, about the interest in the community or what the community sees this?
People are watching it on the news. They're following us on Facebook and on social media, and they want to be involved. They want to help, and they want to help us get this guy off the street.
You get a sense that people are worried about him being out there and keeping you wherever?
Sure. We're all worried about him being out there. I mean, if we found one weapon, there's a possibility that there's another weapon. Why would he leave a weapon behind? So there's a possibility that there's another weapon. So do we really want this guy running around loose with another weapon? Definitely not.
Any other details you could share on the weapon that you did find? Did he buy it? Was it registered to him?
You know, I don't have a lot of information on that yet, and we are trying to figure out where it came from and when it was purchased and so on.
Can you comment at this point? There's been a lot of flack on social media, as you know, that he bought the gun Saturday before the shooting. Can you know if that's true or not?
We're looking at that.
I understand.
How long are your state and federal partners committed to devoting resources to this search?
You know, as long as we continue to believe that he is in that area, and this is a big deal. I mean, 5 innocent people were shot. I think they're in it with us until we get this guy, whether it's up there or somewhere else.
Have you spoken to family of the suspect? Have they given you any insight as to why he may have done this?
I think there has been a conversation. I'm not privy to what that conversation was, but I think there has been a conversation with family members, yes.
The mayor mentioned the ongoing mental health crisis in the country during the last press conference. Was he having a mental health episode that we know?
I don't think so, but you know, we have to wonder why he did what he did. You know, a normal person doesn't do this.
Okay, so that was all of that one. Yeah, that sheriff seemed kind of irritated. I think that when they get him, he's going to be in for a damn rude awakening. So let's see. This is the New York Times from 2 hours ago. It says gunman who wounded 5 on a Kentucky highway remains at large. Investigators say they paused their ground search for the suspect, Joseph A. Couch, who shot at and hit 12 vehicles from a cliff ledge on Saturday evening. A man wanted, goodness gracious. A man wanted, Lord have mercy. A man wanted in what authorities said was a planned shooting on a Kentucky interstate that left 5 people seriously wounded and 12 vehicles riddled with gunfire remains at large in a remote wooded area. Like, I don't understand how you think this shit is going to get you people wanting to sign up for your damn shit. Anyway. A man, Joseph A. Couch, 32, was reclassified from a person of interest to a suspect on Sunday afternoon after the police recovered a vehicle that was registered in his name, a weapon near the vehicle, and interviewed people who authorities said made statements that identified him as the suspect. Mr. Couch, a Kentucky native, served 4 years in the National Guard in their engineer battalion. He was arrested but dismissed on a terroristic threatening charge earlier this year. The manhunt began around 5:30 on Saturday, but authorities called it off after running out of daylight. On Sunday, ground searchers lost daylight again searching for Mr. Couch, but the police said they have formed a perimeter around the area and will be patrolling throughout Sunday night. The search area is a large wooded area near where the shooting took place on Interstate 75 at exit 49, about 8 miles north of London, Kentucky. Laurel County Sheriff's Captain Richard Darlamaple told reporters on Sunday night that the suspect had shot from a ledge on a cliff side and down onto the highway. He was using a gun and 1,000 rounds of ammunition he had legally purchased on Saturday morning, according to investigators. So that shows premeditation because he went and bought the gun and the ammunition Saturday morning. So right there is premeditation. The weapon they believe he used, an AR-15 rifle, was found on Sunday in a wooded area next to the interstate. The police believe he may still be armed. Dang. Nearby communities were on edge Sunday night. Several schools canceled classes on Monday as the Kentucky State Police said they would continue their search in the morning. The police warned local residents to lock their doors, keep the porch lights on, and devices charged. Deputy Gilbert Accardio, and a spokesperson for the Laurel County Sheriff's Office, told reporters on Sunday that all 5 victims were expected to survive and were in stable condition. Investigators believe that the attack was planned, but the individuals were not targeted. Yeah, that makes sense because you don't know who's on the interstate and who's going to be driving when you just open fire on random vehicles. A motive for the shooting was unclear, but Deputy Accardio said that Mr. Couch was committed to his plan. He did not provide more details. Again, talking about premeditation. Investigators were unsure if Mr. Couch had supplies or weapons in the wilderness where they believe he is hiding. Officials found a small SUV registered to Mr. Couch. Hold on just a second. I need to clear my throat. Hello. Good morning. I know you don't want to get up and work, but I need you to work, computer. All right. Oh, somebody commented. Okay, back to the article. A motive for the shooting was unclear, but Deputy Accardo said that Mr. Couch was committed to his plan. He did not provide more details. Investigators were unsure if Mr. Couch had supplies or weapons in the wilderness where they believe he is hiding. Officials say a small SUV registered to Mr. Couch at the top of a hill near the interstate on Saturday night. Officials found a small SUV registered to Mr. Couch at the top of a hill near the interstate on Saturday night. The AR-15 was then found on Sunday, some distance from the vehicle, Deputy Accardio said. A rifle case was recovered in the vehicle, according to Laurel County Sheriff's Office. A phone was also found, but its battery was removed, Deputy Accardio said. Deputy Accardio described a chaotic scene on Saturday night with several cars parked on the shoulder of the interstate with their emergency lights flashing and officers sorting through the inaccurate reports about what happened. Oh my goodness. Deputies rushed some of the wounded to the hospital because of the severity of their injuries. Deputy Accordio told the Courier-Journal, among the injuries, one person was shot in the face, another in the arm, and another in the chest, Deputy Accordio said. Authorities found 12 vehicles damaged by gunfire, including bullet holes and windows that were shot out. The search for the gunman was suspended until daybreak on Monday because of the danger posed to law enforcement officials if they searched in the thickly wooded area at night. The search will continue on Monday around 8 a.m. And there's a picture of Deputy Accordio, the spokesperson for the Laurel County Sheriff's Office. The authorities were relying on 40 to 50 people, as well as dogs, a helicopter, and a drone with an infrared scanner to help in the search. The area, quote, this is a quote, the area is so remote that's probably one of the most remote exits along I-75, Deputy Accordio said. He couldn't have picked an area that's any more remote and difficult for us to try to locate him. So that makes me think he picked that area for this reason, which again shows premeditation. He had to figure out where he was going to be, map out the area, at least in his head, and know, where that he would be able to go into the woods instead of like doing this at an exit at a shopping center where there's nowhere to hide. Back to the article. Deputy Accordio said that while the authorities believed that the man was in the woods, they did not want to rule out that he could be somewhere else. He urged residents to be vigilant and to avoid the search area. He said there were rocks in the area being searched, which could provide cover from the drone and those looking on the ground, which makes sense. Because the infrared drone is going to show your body heat. And yeah, about the only way you could hide from that is to get under rocks or, I don't know, possibly cover yourself in wet mud. I don't know if that's even possible. Something I saw in a movie. Anyway, Daniel Boone National Forest covers the surrounding area where the shooting took place. The densely forested landscape is filled with cliff sides and large rock formations. The police said the area where they believe Mr. Couch is hiding is extremely remote with few homes. Okay, so there's the update on the Kentucky shooter. Let's see. I guess we'll go ahead and do the Cat in the Hat because I know that he put out a video. He said he's going to do it every day until Sebastian's found. I don't know, but okay. Give me just a second and I will share.
Okay. There are evil people who snatch kids away from the one.
So that's the one we saw. Okay, here we go. This is the one from 9 hours ago.
So I'm going to therapy. When I found out about BetterHelp, I was so
glad that you're going to therapy. I'm glad that you're doing that. Mental health is always important. This is going to be Nick the Hat. If you would like to subscribe to him, please do so. He is a new character unlocked in the search for Sebastian Rogers, which is, I don't know, worrisome.
because there are no updates. There really are none today that are worth reporting. Again, in February, tonight's going to be kind of quick because there are no updates.
Okay, hold on. So I started it over so we could hear all of it. Let me start it over.
In February, tonight's going to be kind of quick because there are no updates. There really are none today that are worth reporting. Again, Sebastian went missing February 26th sorry, let me back up because it's been a long day. I've been on the phone all day. And yes, February 26th, so I'm correct. But it was the night before is when he was last seen. So he was reported missing that morning when...
Again, I apologize for the loading and things. It's StreamYard, it's not me.
His mom went to wake him up. What we know is that the rumor mill kind of slowed down as far as it pertains to the parents. And I have a playback, so hold on, guys. That's weird. Hold on. Okay, so whatever I just said played in my own ear. That's weird. So again, let me back it up. He was reported missing by his mother. And again, the parents are off of the rumor mill. And that's a good thing. Not for the most part, they aren't, but they're getting there, right? Again, this week, as I said on X, is going to be a big week when it comes to a few updates.
So, I'm moving my mouse like this. If you wonder why, for some reason, when I do this with my mouse, it makes it load a little better. So that's why I do that. I hope it's not bothering anybody. I also try to always put on the closed captioning so that we can see what they're saying. Yeah. All right.
Maybe Tuesday through Thursday. I know that Dogs People have initiated contact with individuals that are part of the case. They've spoken, obviously, to Seth from the beginning. Seth has cooperated. I've said that plenty. They initiated contact with other individuals, and they made it clear that they are in town, right? They are there, not Dog himself, but there are people there. And like I said on X, there's not an update today. The only update that there is that's worth reporting is that we have to get cooperation and unity, right? That's kind of the big thing. If there's unity between Seth and Kate, not in a weird way, like I'm not saying unite and...
I think that would help this case tremendously for all three of the parents to be unified in this search. I don't see it happening, but I think if all three of them were to work together, it would help out with the drama and hopefully find Sebastian. Is it going to happen? I highly doubt it. There's just a lot of animosity there, a lot of hurt feelings, a lot of feelings in general. I don't think it's going to happen, but if somebody somehow could get them to work together and all of the craziness to stop with like Bullhorn Betty and all of that, I mean, I think honestly that reason right there, that person is going to be the reason they can't all work together. I saw her with the Quentin Simon case. That was when I was first introduced to Betty and Dolly. I do not watch Dolly because of the clickbait titles. I did hear that he recently had a heart attack, and I did pray for him, and I hope that he's recovering. I do know he's better. Bullhorn Betty was out there with her megaphone and things, and then I heard her screaming throughout the neighborhood and hollering at the parents and things, and then they would play crying babies at night. When the crying babies thing started happening, I exited stage left immediately because that was just uncalled for. We don't know, we know more about the Quentin Simon case, but at the time we didn't know exactly what happened. There was a theory which turned out to be true, but whatever it was, even with what happened, you never know if it was an accident or something like that. And I mean, the crying babies and all the other shit was just completely unnecessary. But anyway, that's about Bullhorn Betty. I don't think, in reference to the Sebastian Rogers case, that they're going to be able to work together because of Bullhorn Betty and the family having to get a restraining order against her just to seek peace. To be honest with you, if God forbid I was in this situation and I saw the woman roll up on the scene that had been doing all that in the Quentin Simon case, I would seek a protection order as well. I don't blame them at all in the least for doing that. And like I've said before, you got to remember Katie and Chris are private people, and they have a family friend that is a well-known attorney of the area, and it sounds like almost like an aunt or a mother to him is the kind of relationship they have. And I just, yeah, I think they made the right decision. The Bauer Sox as well.
And get together.
Sorry.
Or like romantically, Chris, calm down. They're not going to like run off and cheat on you. I don't know. You know what I mean? The parents have to come back in the picture together and look for Sebastian. This is about Sebastian. That's it. We are looking for Sebastian.
Okay, why are we pushing Chris to the side? Chris has been in his life for 8 years now. I think that, and honestly, I think that the whole not talking to Seth unless Chris is on the phone has more to do with Katie than Chris, to be honest. I think that she doesn't want to talk to him on the phone alone. And I understand why. You can't blame the woman for that. I really don't think it has much to do with Chris. I think Chris stays on the phone to make sure his wife is comfortable in the conversation she has to have with the father of her son. That's my theory, in my opinion.
There's no need to be looking for anything else anywhere else on the internet. You're not going to find them there, right? Tips, if you're seeing a comment, I mean, if you're hunting for your son, your stepson on Facebook comments, it's not going to work, right? You have to do it in person. You have to look, you have to follow up on leads yourself. Put the word out there. Do you guys share that he's missing? I don't think so. Joker, you don't. So it's a lot of weird stuff is going on in this case. And it's going to end tomorrow, really, what hasn't ended already. Again, I told a lot of the people that have been covering this, reach back out to the people that you spoke with originally. It's important to see if they're willing to talk.
Nice.
The pressure, you haven't seen anything yet. This is a joke. Everything that you guys have seen so far, like as far as dogs' involvement on TV, that's not pressure at all. Pressure is being there in person. Pressure is speaking with witnesses. Pressure is running down leads, and leads are being chased. Every lead that comes in that's credible gets sent to the relevant authorities, and it's chased down and followed.
Well, I'm glad to hear that leads are being followed and chased. You never know, something that sounds crazy could end up being a lead. But no, I'm glad to hear that they're doing that. And more importantly, getting those leads to the correct authorities.
Followed up on. And that's the big thing, I guess I haven't emphasized. The agency follows up on these leads. So when they send something to TBI, right? Let's say a week goes by, they follow up to, depending on the severity or the seriousness of the tip, they'll follow up. And if there's not an update, they will act, right? They'll make sure that they follow the lead, see if it checks out, but they don't step on toes. We have to get unity, and there won't be unity on YouTube or anywhere else. TikTok. Oh, this is actually for the trolls. I did this on X, so you guys can cover. I broke out right here. I have a pimple, so you guys can cover that on TikTok. It's going to be a huge probably thing because you guys cover the weirdest stuff for people that are looking for Sebastian, right? So I'll give you whatever because there's not much content tonight except that.
Sir, actually, that looks like a cold sore. But okay.
There you go. As far as an update for TikTokers, the goal is to find Sebastian. That is the only goal, and we're not leaving. We're gonna.
You know, they make those little pads for those now that you just stick it on there in the morning and by the night it's gone. Just, for your information, since you want to talk shit to trolls. Don't feed the trolls. That's what I've heard people say. Let's not feed the trolls. I agree with that statement.
We're gonna find.
If you hear something, it's my rabbit. He's chewing. And he rules this household. He is the king of the house. So he does what he wants to. If that bothers you, I do apologize. He'll stop in just a few minutes.
Find Sebastian and find the people responsible. And the people that think that, and when I say the people, I'm talking about those directly related. We are coming for you. Sorry, guys. Long day.
I don't understand what was funny about what you said. I hope that you are going to find. Nothing in the world would make me more happy than if you or somebody else did find Sebastian Rogers. Like, at the end of the day, that's what I want. I don't give a shit who does it, when they do it, where they do it, why they do it. I just want Sebastian back, like everybody else does. I don't care who, what, when, where, or why. The cat in the hat here, Dog the Bounty Hunter, the damn Hendersonville Police Department, Seth Rogers, Katie, Chris Proudfoot, the Bowersock. I don't give a shit. Nina, I don't care. Just bring him home. Somebody find him.
Long day. A lot of updates, and you should probably hear from Dog tomorrow. I'll see if I can have him on live just to give a little update himself. He's obviously a lot more in the loop than I am, even though we communicate all day. And it's Dog, so you guys want to hear from him, and it'd be cool.
Rumor has it that this is a rumor. I haven't checked. I don't have receipts, but that he owes Bullhorn Betty $400 for some kind of picture that he had Dog sign. So I think this is like some fanboy type shit. But I would love to hear what Dog has to say about this tomorrow. And I'm gonna see. I think there is an update, or he went on a Fox News or something. I could be wrong, but I'm gonna try to pull that up, and we can look at that before we're done.
He is very involved in this, and he has vowed to stay in this until Sebastian's found. If he dies of old age, he's here. He's not going anywhere until Sebastian's found. And that's a message to the individuals who want to play games about a missing persons case, not the comments. I'm talking about people in person, the ones that live in that Sumner County, the ones that have direct connections. If not, I mean, look, let's cut around it. Okay. You should be not cooperating. You should be begging for help. There shouldn't be cooperation. I don't even know why I have to use that word. It's ridiculous.
Okay, when you come in here looking like you do with Dog the Bounty Hunter, who had a TV show about bounty hunting, and it was a TV show, not actual, they make it look like bounty hunting, but I'm going to tell you, not all of that shit happens like it's supposed to. They've got to have an episode every week. And there's not somebody running, somebody missing, some kind of shit going on every single week. You got to have something to talk. So they make shit up sometimes. And if you roll in there with your group of Hollywood actors and shit, talking to the Sumner County Sheriff's Office or the Hendersonville Police Department and saying, I need y'all to cooperate with us and give us everything you have, sir, that's not going to happen. This is an open investigation, but the FBI is involved. The FBI. You think the FBI is about to hand you what they have on the case? No, sir, they're not. So if that's what you're referring to, you got your rabbit ass mind.
There's a barrier in this. There's a big barrier. And the barrier is not Katie and it's not Seth. It's not. The thing is we can't get the two together without breaking the barrier. And trust me, that barrier is coming down. You know exactly. And that message is to you. You know who I'm talking to. That barrier is broken. It's cracked right now.
Okay. He didn't mention Chris Proudfoot. So again, if he's talking about Chris Proudfoot, again, like I just said, I don't think that Chris Proudfoot is keeping them from talking. I think Katie doesn't want to talk to Seth unless Chris is on the phone or Chris is involved. And so you're talking about a man and his wife who obviously are private people. You can't, and especially a man's going to take what you just said as a threat, as you're talking shit to him. And that's not, you can catch more flies with honey And I'll leave that at that.
Now, but we're driving right through it, and we're not stopping until we find Sebastian. And to find Sebastian, we need Katie and Seth. Simple as that. We don't need.
Again, Chris is the stepfather. Chris was in his life on a daily basis. Seth had custody, like visitation. Yes, I think the actual parents who created the child need to be talking and should be involved, but Chris was also a parent in his life on a daily basis. He was in his life and saw him more than Seth Rogers did. So how can you exclude him from all of this? I don't think that's
anything in between. We need the parents, unite, even if you don't like each other, fake it. Other guy, deal with it, get in your lane. I said it yesterday, I'll say it again tonight.
Okay, yeah, I mean, again, this is already taking a turn for Elm Street. You can't come out here talking like that to Mr. Chris Proudfoot. Anybody's going to take that as being hostile, and he saw him on a daily basis. You can't do that.
It's clear, and I don't care what you say, that you're not fond of the kid. Okay, you said it. I mean, but so get out of the way. And even if you love the guy, it's not your kid, and let her cooperate. Because that's to use that.
Okay. We know that he has said things about Sebastian Rogers that are not good. Okay. I mean, it's obvious that Sebastian got on his nerves. I can give him that. But again, he's in his life on a daily basis. I'm sure he knows more about Sebastian than in his daily, let me say, his daily routine, how he was on a daily basis. He's going to know what time he gets up, what time he goes to bed, if he brushes his teeth, which hopefully he does, when he finishes his schoolwork, what his teachers are saying at school. Seth is not necessarily going to know what goes on in Chris and Katie's house like that. All three parents need to be involved.
Use that word with this third guy. Again, guys, we have to find Sebastian. To find Sebastian, we need unity. To get to unity, we need those two to unite on national TV, not on YouTube. It could.
For unity, you need all three of them to unite. That's unity.
Be done. They just agree.
And I think that needs to happen 100%. But you're already bashing Chris Proudfoot. I don't know where you think you're going to get doing shit like that, but it's not what you think you're going to get.
To it together. It'll be done the same day, that night, on that news cycle. Okay. And I guess how long it would be on? Okay. We're at 10 minutes right now. So we're going to make this one quick. This is the only update that is worth reporting. Okay. If there are any more of these little threats that go around, there have been death threats made by Christopher, the step, whatever you want to call him, the step ahead of Sebastian, to Seth and others that are involved in the case. If you are
okay, I don't. I need to see some proof of that. Again, I mean, I've said in other lives, the way Chris Proudfoot acts is that everything the way he acts and speaks is in a way of where he has set his mind to everything I say can and will be used against me. And for somebody that uses the law and knows the law enough to use it to his advantage, like Chris Proudfoot does, as we've seen throughout this whole entire case, for him to make actual death threats would be stupid on his part, and I don't see that happening.
You are standing in the way of Kate. Dog already knows I mean, listen, buddy, it's coming. We're in town. Me personally, I know that, yeah, maybe you cowards are not afraid to talk back to guys like me. I get that. Let's see how you talk to Dog. Let's see how you talk to his guys tomorrow. Let's see how you talk to him in person, because we need to speak with the parents, not you. You are inserting yourself like a weirdo.
Oh my God, what? He was a step parent that was with him on a daily basis, unless he was working. Inserting yourself like a weirdo? Are you fucking kidding me? That is his mother's husband. What the fuck are you talking about?
Go into the middle of it. They need to find their kid, and you're making it hard, and I'm calling you out. So get out of the way, let them find their kid, let them unite, or publicly go on a show and say that we are full of it and that you've been doing everything you could. But go on the show with Seth. You won't, you coward. Like, that's literally what I'm calling you out. Go on with Seth, or get out of the way and let Kate find her kid with Seth. This is about Sebastian, not you guys. And if you want to make it about you, you go on TV and do it. Don't do it from a webcam, you warrior. Like, it's the weirdest stuff, guys. And that's
I don't understand where he's getting all this from. I agree that they all need to unite so that they can find Sebastian, but you can't tell the stepfather, get out of the way, you weirdo. That was the stepfather of this child who saw him on a daily basis. And I would say the same thing if he was saying that about Seth. Like, what are you even doing? And then now you're saying that Dog the Bounty Hunter is going to go over there tomorrow and try to talk to him. And you've put this damn YouTube video out here that Chris has more than likely already seen. So you're going to make the situation more hostile and awkward than it needs to be, because now Chris Proudfoot's going to be up in arms because of what you're saying. What the fuck do you mean? Weirdo? Are you fucking serious? He was there with him on a daily basis. What the fuck? Like, you just threw so many wrenches in something that you could have, if you had not said all this and just stayed neutral about all the parents, you might would have got somewhere. You just threw 15 wrenches in the damn shredder that's fucking everything up. You just shat on your own self. What the fuck?
That's where I'm leaving it. Stay safe. I'll talk to you guys again tomorrow when we actually have an update. The goal is to find Sebastian. We are coming. We're going to find Sebastian. We're going to find the people that did this. But first, we will find Sebastian. The rest we'll find. It'll be history. I mean, it'll handle itself, guys. Stay safe. Be on the lookout. And
I'm interested in trying these new weight.
Oh my God. Wow. Like, he just fucked that up so bad. Wow. My God. So right now I'm going to see what we have on Dog the Bounty Hunter updates. Give me just a second and I'll share the screen. So what I'm seeing is all 3 days ago, 2 days ago. Hold on just a second. All right. So now the screen is shared. What was yesterday's date? September 8th. All right, let's see if we can get anything. Yeah, everything says 3 days ago, 4 days ago, 2 days ago. And we went over what he said 2 days ago. I'm not seeing anything new. Let me try to search for Fox News because I saw something that was on this, but I don't know if it was old or what. Mm. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. Okay, so we are going to talk about his daughter because now that's being brought into the situation from what people are saying. So baby Lisa's trafficking organization or sorry, had a brain fart. Okay, so this was July 10th, 2024. And it goes all the way back to November 17th of 2020. Let's read the one from July 10th because it looks like she had opened it possibly in 2020, and then we haven't heard much about it until July 10th, and now we're exactly 2 months later, and he's joining the search for a missing child. Now, he's a bounty hunter, so when I heard he was joining the search for a missing child, again, I've talked about it before on my other live that while I think that he's good at finding people, you're talking about a child who could possibly be being trafficked. And again, trafficking is a multi-trillion-dollar a year company involving lawyers, politicians, judges, doctors, all the way from the bottom to the top. So, the cartel, they have underground places that they traffic these people, and I don't know how you plan on entering that wasp nest of the black market, I guess you would say, or that underground haven of crime to find him. I hope with all of my heart that you can and that you do, but I don't know how you'll be able to do that. So anyway, evidently his daughter, baby Lisa, has an organization that she made to help trafficking victims or find them. And if you can do that and you have resources at your disposal to help you do that, I think that's a wonderful thing to do. But the fact that she opened it a long time ago, we haven't heard anything about it, and then all of a sudden it comes back up 2 months before you decide to join the search for Sebastian Rogers is a bit concerning. So let's see what pop culture had to say. Dog the Bounty Hunter's daughter, baby Lisa Chapman, returning to family business. The Dog the Bounty Hunter alum revealed that she is taking her bail test this week, teasing the Chapmans are back. And this again was July 10th of this year. Dog the Bounty Hunter star baby Lisa Chapman is going back to the business that helped make her family famous. Chapman, the daughter of Dwayne Dog Chapman and his third wife, Lisa Ray Britton, announced this week that she is taking her bail test to become a bail bondswoman. Guess who's getting back into the family business? Taking my bail test tomorrow, Chapman shared in a July 9th Instagram post. She explained in the comments that she did not keep up with my continuing education classes, so my license lapsed. I'll have to retest and start from scratch. Goodness, my tongue is getting tired this morning. Chapman concluded the post, "Look out, Oahu." I think that's how you say that. The Chapmans are back, before hinting in the hashtags that she would be returning to the family bail bonds company, Decline Bail Bonds Company. Chapman is no stranger to the family business. Along with previously working with her father at Decline Bail Bonds, the former bail bonds woman is also a former bounty hunter. She notably appeared on Dog the Bounty Hunter alongside her brother Dwayne Lean Chapman Jr. and other family members. Dog, Beth Chapman, Leland Chapman, children Cicely Baymore Chapman, Gary Chapman, and Bonnie Chapman. While Chapman left the A&E reality show, which ran from 2004 to 2012 in season 8, just one season before the final run of episodes, in 2020, she announced that she was putting her bounty hunting skills to use. After receiving dozens of messages from people with missing loved ones, Chapman teamed up with fellow reality star Rainey Robinson to embark on a mission, goodness gracious, to find missing children and sex trafficking victims, she told The Sun. It's a huge calling for us, especially when it comes to children that are getting involved in sex trafficking and sex crimes. We feel very passionately about this. We did not choose this. This is choosing us. Her return to the family bail bonds business comes just 1 year after she opened up about missing her father amid his move from Hawaii. In a June 2023 post, Chapman wrote, "Going from having 5 million family members down to just me and my daughter is indescribable and hard. The island got much bigger. Miss you all." News of Chapman's return to the family business was met with plenty of excitement from fans. One fan commented, "MG, yes, good luck on your test. You'll do great. Beth will be with you, telling you the answers." Laugh out loud. With somebody else adding, "Oh my God, the badass boss babe is back. Go, Lisa." A third fan wrote, "Yes, this is what I love. We need amazing like you in the business." Okay. So I think that's it for that. So baby Lisa, as of July 10th, almost exactly 2 months ago, talks about opening up the trafficking business, sex trafficking business to help sex trafficking victims. Okay, so it goes all the way back to November 17th of 2020, because right here, the U.S. Sun, Dog the Bounty Hunter's daughter, Alyssa Chapman, is launching a Missing to Find Missing Children and Sex Trafficking Victims. Dog the Bounty Hunter partners with local anti-smex something, a faith-based nonprofit, Salaya Freedom, seeks to offer support and solutions to survivors of sex trafficking while also fighting to prevent the crime. Hold on, this is from November 14th of 2023, and I didn't hear about this, and he's trying to partner with trafficking, anti-trafficking networks. So I'm wondering if he is just going around trying to partner with a lot of people to get back in the limelight. I mean, I don't know, and I'm wondering if he tried to partner with these people and it didn't work. It did not work. So now he's on the Sebastian Rogers case. Or could he have partnered with these people and be continuing to move on through and is now on the Sebastian Rogers case? So this is from November 14th, 2023. Dog the Bounty Hunter partners with local anti-sex trafficking nonprofit Salaya Freedom. I wonder if that's the Underground Railroad or that movie that they just did, which has a whole freaking laundry list of issues as far as the man that runs it. going on. I wonder if this is in relation to that. So let's read the article. Dog the Bounty Hunter partners with anti-local sex trafficking nonprofit. Celaya Freedom, a faith-based organization, hosted Dog the Bounty Hunter and his wife, Francie Chapman, at its Light the Path Gala on November 9th. That's him speaking at the event. Francie Chapman, standing in a room that also included her husband, Dwayne Chapman, the TV star known as Dog the Bounty Hunter, told an audience it was miraculous that years ago she never found herself in the situation of being trafficked, and those in Celaya Freedom's programs have. While I hated how I felt inside, I was running from me. And I didn't have anybody that kept coming back and saying, we love you and we're going to be there for you and we're not going to give up on you and we're not going to walk away from you and we're not going to let go of you. We're right here, Chapman said. I'm sorry. I probably shouldn't read it like that. I can't help myself sometimes. A faith-based nonprofit, Celaya Freedom, seeks to offer support and solution to survivors of sex trafficking while also fighting to prevent the crime. The organization hosted the Chapmans on November 9th during its Light the Path Gala, held at Embassy Suites Hotel. Executive Director Stacy Efal said it was exciting to have the celebrity presence of Dog the Bounty Hunter at the event, describing an astronomical need for awareness and funding. Imagine that. She said the organization recently received cutbacks in government funding while its safe homes are now at capacity, with a waiting period of up to 3 months. Well, in all honesty, that's not good. So this is a miniature lantern with a message of hope handwritten by a survivor was offered to each guest. That's sweet. It's nice to have, but again, that's sorry about the lantern. That's really sweet, but it's also something to pull at your heartstrings so they can get funding for their programs while spending God knows what on food and people at this Met Gala event. I understand that's how they do fundraising, but I don't know. I've always questioned that kind of stuff. Back to the article. It's nice to have a big name celebrity get behind the issue, Efal said. A lot of celebrities have avoided it, and he's just ready to tackle anything. Yep, seems that way. I'm going to read that one more time. And he's just ready to tackle anything, including Sebastian Rogers. Maybe anything to get back in the camera. Anything to start a new TV show. I'm gonna say this: when Beth passed away, and then he got with the woman he's with now, I believe. I don't know if it's her or not, but he was like immediately had another woman on his hip and was marrying her. Even his children got upset because supposedly he had been cheating on Beth with this woman. So could that be part of the reason that you're not in the limelight, that people stopped watching your show because it pissed everybody off to see that as soon as that woman was in the ground, not even cold yet, you had somebody else in your bed? Just asking for a friend. Back to the article. A lot of celebrities have avoided it, and he's just ready to tackle anything, and he's very passionate about helping people who have been exploited. He's not shy, and he's not going to back down from it. This is one of This is one of the greatest programs I've seen, Dwayne Chapman told the audience, just by adding faith to these girls, giving them a sisterhood and support. They're gonna make it. And a lot of these girls stay in the program and teach others. Prior to the Chapman speech, the dinner event also featured a speech by a survivor, Brianna Cole, and a video presentation by another survivor in attendance, Gabby Triplett. This is Gabby Triplett. Both women recounted their stories as victims of sex trafficking, interconnected with drug addictions and other issues, and having their lives turned around through Celaya Freedom. Some of the organization's services for survivors include a safe home and rehabilitation, as well as a personal educational plan. job placement, trauma therapy, life skills, medical and legal assistance, and holistic care. Cole recounted how even after her trafficker was arrested, she was not yet ready to abandon drugs, although Celia Freedom continued to show up in her life, whether she was in prison or the hospital. Triplett, who is now the volunteer advocate at the nonprofit, recounted how after her trafficker eventually shot her in an attempt to escape, she still feared for her life if she told anyone of her situation. They offered me help every time, and when I turned them down, they never gave up, Cole said. This means so much to me, said Triplett. Without having events like this and people to offer support, I wouldn't have had the experience I did. I wouldn't have had all this healing and health. Auctioneer Joe Gibron turns over the stage to Francie Chapman. So that's his current wife. Francie Chapman's comments echoed those of the survivors. She said while growing up, she was sexually abused by a family member, developing a cocaine addiction and entering 2 abusive and violent relationships. I fought to get out, but it took me a really long time, and I held people at length and arm's length, and I didn't let anybody close, she said. But Celia is stepping in, and they're earning these girls' trust. They're giving them a place where they can come in and be safe, which they've probably never felt in their whole lives. The importance of what they're doing is more than we could say in words. The organization offers services including education for parents and youth on how to avoid being manipulated by a trafficker, support groups, case management, and referral services to current victims. This is a picture of Dwayne Chapman, Brianna Cole, and Francie Chapman. So that's the other girl that spoke at the event about sex trafficking. The Chapmans have also established a nonprofit organization, DOG, Developing and Overcoming Generation Foundation, which provides emotional healing and services to victims of human trafficking. Dwayne Chapman described a team the couple have just assembled to chase down traffickers. Oh, this is him. I was bawling, and those guys behind us, there are thousands of them across the United States, and we're all going to work together, he said. And we're all going after, what do they call them? Traffickers. Wow. Wow. You're at an event, speaking at an event on human trafficking, partnering with a group about human trafficking, and your daughter has an organization to help traffickers, and you say, and we're going after, what do they call them? Traffickers. Well, they're not going to be called that after we get them. I guess they're going to be called chopped liver after that. I don't fucking know. Fucking stupid. What do they call them? Sean here has told me all about Sebastian. Like, is it, I mean, are we all there cognitively? I'm wondering. I don't know. Okay. Anyway, what do we have next? Let's see. Let's just do a search for Madeline. I'll pull up some of the files I have. Oh goodness, I'm putting P. You know what? I'll just pull up some of the files I have, and if there's anything else new on her, we will review it later or tomorrow. So right now I am getting my files on Maddie, and we'll go through some of those. Let's see. Okay, so I'll go ahead and share my screen. A lot of this is where they are going through the neighborhood and asking people, have you seen her? And I don't want to share those videos necessarily because, that's just people in the neighborhood. I don't want to invade their privacy. But these are audio files here, so let's see what we got. Hold on a minute. All right.
You needed some good sleep. So was it about 11 o'clock?
Yeah. I sent them upstairs and I went to bed.
I think we've heard this one, but I'll play it.
That was about 11.
Yeah.
And do you guys normally all sleep together? Because I know you said that she sleeps in your room with you typically, right?
She sleeps with me typically. Typically when he comes into town, because he lives with his parents in Northport, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
When he comes to town, he'll sleep in the guest bedroom.
Okay.
So I know we might have heard this, but I just want to go over it again because I think it's important to understand the dynamics and of the Madeline Soto's house and the sleeping arrangements. Also, it is redacted. As you can see, it's titled redacted. So anytime they say Maddie or other people's names, it's going to block it out. I just wanted you to know that's not me doing that. It is indeed the audio file. So I'm going to play this and I'm going to try not to talk too much through it so we can just listen to it.
And Stefan is the one you're referring to, right?
Yeah, Stefan's room.
Stefan, how often does he stay here?
Oh. He moved away back in December, so I'm going to say he's visited at least 2 to 3 times since then.
Okay. Why did he move away?
He was offered his dad had offered him a job, but it fell through.
Oh.
So
okay.
now we're trying to get him back here.
And he just visits?
Yeah.
When he visits, does he stay for like hours, days, weeks?
I would say days. This time we had planned on him staying a whole week because I was going through training at work. So I wanted him to be here to help me with the dog, help me with the training.
Okay, so this time he was planning to stay for a week. How long has he been here? Or when did he arrive, rather, this time?
I can't remember if he arrived Saturday or Sunday morning.
Okay, that's fine. Sometime this weekend?
Yeah.
So that was last night around 11. And so about what time did you hear her on Monday morning?
I heard everyone getting ready around, I'm going to say 7:30, 8 o'clock.
And was it just Steph? Who else lives here?
I have roommates.
Okay.
I have Angelica Negro. There's one roommate, and then Natalie Rosero.
Okay. And you just heard all of them, or did you hear anyone specific?
No, I just heard, if anything, Stefan came and woke me up accidentally because he was trying to let the dog out.
Mm-hmm.
And the dog gets really nervous sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So I was trying to help him with that, get him on his leash. But he got him situated and took him for a walk.
Okay. Did you hear around 7 or 8?
I heard noises in the kitchen, but I'm not sure,
Not sure who it was exactly.
Who it was exactly, yeah.
Gotcha.
It could have been any of the roommates.
But you didn't see her leave Monday morning. Were you still in bed or still in your room?
I was still asleep, yeah.
Gotcha. What time does she normally leave for school?
We usually leave around 8:50 at the latest.
Okay. What time does she have to be to school by?
9:28 is when school starts.
Gotcha. And so I think you had said the previous night, you and Stefan had agreed that he was going to get and take her in the morning? Okay.
And they were going to stop at McDonald's and get breakfast, but she changed her mind last minute and did not want McDonald's.
Okay. When'd you find that out?
When did I find that out? When Stefan called me around 10:18 in the morning, I had stepped out to go get blood work done. And he had just let me know that he just got back home from running a few errands. And that I asked, did you guys ever just stop at McDonald's? And he said, no, she changed her mind. He tried convincing her a few times, but she did not want McDonald's anymore.
What time did you leave the house yesterday in the morning? Or what time did you step out, rather?
I'm going to say around 9:30.
Had Stefan returned at all?
No.
So you were there from, just so I have my times kind of right, so you woke up around 7 or 8. You saw Stefan, because you helped him with the dog, because he was letting the dog out, right?
Yeah.
And then did you go back to sleep, or were you just kind of in the room?
I laid back down and went back to sleep.
Okay. And then, do you remember what time you woke up after that?
I believe I set my alarm for 9 a.m.
Gotcha. So it would have been around 9 a.m. that you woke up. And in that time, you didn't see Stefan return at all? Okay. You left around 9:30, and then Stefan called you around 10 to say he got home?
Yeah.
Cool. Got it. Okay. Did he say anything else aside from she didn't want to go to McDonald's?
About her, no. About his morning, yes. He had tried going to the vape shop when it opened right after he dropped her off from school and waited, but they never opened on time. So he came back, hung out a little bit. He came home around 10 and then went back out eventually to the vape store to go get some vape stuff.
So he left after 10. What time did you get back home for the day?
Let me check something. I want to check what time my blood work appointment is at. I'll give you more of an accurate time.
Yeah.
Okay, so my appointment was at 10:15 and it took them 45 minutes to see me. So I didn't get home until 11:15, 11:30.
And was Stefan back at that point in time?
I'm going to say yes.
Okay.
I can't remember.
And then what did the day look like after that? It's fine.
So I did my blood work, then I came back, and then I just waited. I waited for the rest of the day until 2:30 to leave. I waited in the car line, so I'm first in line to pick her up.
Yeah, that car line can be vicious. So you left approximately 2:30.
Yeah.
And pickups around 4, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when you got there at 4, then what happened?
I waited in the car line for about 10 minutes, and she never came out. So I thought maybe I missed her. I couldn't remember if I told her I was picking her up from school that day or if she had to walk to the office.
Okay.
So I went to the office to see if she made it. She never did. I drove around a little bit.
Okay.
I drove around a little bit looking for her. I went back to the school. The school was closed at this point. I wanted to speak to somebody at the office to see if anybody could tell me if she had been there. I think at this point I had called, before I went to the school, I actually called her best friend and I said, with you, I can't find her. She didn't walk to the office and she wasn't at school when I went to pick her up. She said she never made it. She's it's a first or second period. And I'm like, what do you mean? I dropped her off. We dropped her off close to school. And she said she didn't make it to first or second period. I said, please check with the rest of your friends. She did. She got back to me, said none of them saw her today. I emailed one of her teachers. Her teacher texted me her attendance for the whole day and told me she wasn't in school at all. That's when I knew something was wrong, and I freaked out.
Okay. Is it typical of to walk to after school?
If I'm working, yes.
And where, I mean, in relation to the school, like, is it a close walk, long walk?
It's a very close walk.
Okay. So typically in the morning, if, or I guess before Stefan moved, did he live with y'all?
That's redacted. That's not me.
Okay. Has he done it before though? Like is he familiar with how to drop her off? And
I'm gonna say he's done it once or twice before. I'm not too sure.
Okay. In the time since he's been back, well, not this time because he's only come back over the weekend, but in the other times, he's done it maybe once or twice.
I'm gonna say yeah.
Is there any reason that he dropped her off a block away instead of dropping her off to the school?
Because she asked. Because she is embarrassed of his car.
Really? When did she express that?
Multiple times when we've been like, okay, I think Stefan might take you to school or he might pick you up. She goes, can he pick me up far away? Can he leave me here? Like I don't want to be seen. I'm just like,
I have stated before, I think the motive, because they both speak about how she was talking about a crush she had on a little boy, and that they were talking through Instagram or something to that effect. I've stated before how I don't think that it had anything to do with the car. I think it had to do with Stefan seeing her talking to her friends or possibly this little boy. I think that she felt like there would be some type of repercussion if she was seen talking to someone of the opposite sex by Stefan, and I think that's why she had an issue with him dropping her off in the car. That's just my opinion. But with the more than likely, from what I have from all these files, with them talking about her crush on this little boy, I do believe that was the motive, because she was talking about it the night before she was unfortunately murdered. And some of the pictures she was drawing in her notebook are very graphic and depict relations, I guess I could say. And if she was to talk about this little boy about that or other things going on in the house, I think that most definitely Stefan, if not both parent, Jen included, if she knew, um, would have been detrimental to both of them. And Jennifer Soto has recently stated about how it was the act of what he was doing was not evil, but him murdering her was evil. And I've said before, when you look at the interview from the news channel where she's consoling him, it looks more like a mother consoling a son instead of a boyfriend-girlfriend type situation. So I wonder if she looked at them as if they were both her children and she was a mother figure to both of them, and that they both loved each other or something. I don't know why she would think that or how she could get something that sick in her head and be okay with it. But I don't know what else explains her actions and the things she said.
What car did you drive? I'm curious.
What's that Buick?
Oh, okay.
But to her, that's an old hoopty car.
Fancy taste. I get it. Can you remember anything about Sunday or Saturday or this weekend where she may have said that she was wanting to hang out with friends or something she was wanting to do or anything?
On Sunday, she actually had a party and she had some friends come over. So she hasn't expressed that she wanted. She actually got to spend time with friends and family. She had a great Sunday. She came back with a lot of presents. She was super happy.
Okay. So no arguments at home recently or anything?
No, nothing like that.
Has she ever, in the totality of, I guess, everything, as long as she's been, ever gone off to spend time by herself or gone to hang out at a park by herself or something to kind of clear her own head?
So there's a lake right behind this building. She'll sometimes sit at the dock by the lake, but I check on her often.
Okay. I'm just trying to figure out, I mean, if she, I don't know if something at school upset her, something here upset her. Not that it would be anyone's fault, but if there's somewhere that she may go for, like, you know, peace of mind.
Yeah, it would be the lake right behind the house.
Does she do any extracurriculars?
No.
Got it. Now your roommates, I know you told me their names earlier, but can you give them to me again? I didn't write them down.
Sure. Angelica. And then Negro, Nigro. And then Nathalie, which is Nathalie. Rosero.
Rosero. Okay. Do you have their phone numbers by chance? If they're not here. Are you okay? Do you have to use the bathroom?
No, I'm just anxious.
Okay.
I've got anxiety. Let me see. Okay, Angelica, she primarily speaks Spanish, so you probably need a Spanish speaker.
And then Nathalie. Got it. All right. When's the last time you got in any kind of trouble at home?
I'm gonna say a few weeks ago.
What was that for?
I don't think if she gets a yelling or if she gets in trouble for anything, it's for her disorganization and messiness. How she leaves laundry on the floor, her room's a mess. She keeps her space very disorganized. So I kind of get on top of her. Do I remember the actual argument? No. When I went through her text messages back on February 2nd or 3rd, she had expressed to a friend that, I was crazy. I was acting, being nuts.
Almost old stuff to say.
Yeah, apparently I don't remember this in this conversation. I remember saying this once, but not in February. But she had said, if she continues to behave this way or not listen, when she turns 18, I'm not going to want to live with her.
Okay.
Or also I would ship her off to her dad's.
Oh.
But I never.
Where's her dad live?
Houston, Texas.
Okay. Has she ever expressed wanting to go back and live with them?
No.
How often does she see him or talk to him at all?
Talks to him once in a while.
Via phone or probably?
Yeah, via phone, yeah.
Okay.
Text message or Instagram, they'll message each other. But I talked to him last night and she's like, just so you're aware, she hasn't said anything about making plans to come over here or see me or come visit me, so he doesn't have any information on where she might be.
Okay.
He's actually willing to come over here too if we needed to.
Okay. But she's never made any plans, I guess, to go see him.
No.
What's her dad's name? Do you know his phone number?
So I think it's this one.
And he lives in Texas.
In Houston, yeah.
How long's he lived? Or how long?
He was in the military way, either it's Kansas or.
Oh, so he's never had any custody or
No,
anything? Or...
nothing.
Okay. And has she ever formed a relationship with him where they bonded and talked or anything that she? I guess I would try to rule out the possibility that she would be trying to go to Texas and see him or meet up with him or.
They're as close as they can be with how limited contact he does have with her. He texts her once in a blue, right? Not as consistent as I would like him to, but
okay.
I don't think she's making her move to go.
Yeah.
She's left her debit card here. All of her money's here. Her cell phone's here.
Is it typical of her to leave her cell phone? Does she normally have it?
She's got ADHD. She's very forgetful. This happens often.
Oh, so she frequently forgets her things?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have just spent this time checking through all my emails and my requests and the like about finding the interview that was released yesterday. Unfortunately, I have not been able to find it in my files. So after I finish this, we will go over Hidden True Crimes interview that she has with Jennifer Soto's attorney, referencing immunity. It's a certain type, though. It doesn't mean that she cannot ever be charged. So this has 6 minutes left. We'll finish this and then we'll do that interview, and that'll probably be it for me for today. So let's finish this and then we'll check that interview.
As far as her mental diagnosis, she's diagnosed with ADHD. How long has she had ADHD?
Since she was 5, 6. They also diagnosed her at the same time with autism. So she's had an autism diagnosis for a few years now. I've reassessed her recently. They told me she had some autistic traits, but they weren't sure if she was autistic.
So, I mean, do you ever notice her mental capacity impacting her ability to, I guess, be around other kids or function normally?
I would say sometimes, because she acts, I'm not sure. Sometimes she'll make some decisions that I'm just like, where did that come from? Like,
I mean, is that like, would that be a result of a mental disability, or would that be like a result of her being? I mean, does she? I guess like basic questions I always kind of ask her: can she feed herself without assistance? Does she shower and bathe without assistance? I mean, she has a phone, so you can text and talk to people. She has friends at school. Gotcha. And has she ever complained about school?
Not complained exactly. I know it's tough on her. She's given a lot of work. She's always behind on work.
Okay. Got it. And I think the deputies already last night kind of went through her social media a little bit, but if you're okay with it, I'd actually like to take her phone so that I can see if I can get anything else from it. Typically me being able to go through it and go through text and social media will help me sort of establish a pattern of where people go and whatnot. If that's something you'd let me do.
Sure. Will you take her phone away forever, or just for right now?
Just for as long as I need it to actually go through it. So I'll give it back to you as soon as I'm done. As soon as we find her, I'll give it back to her, hopefully. Yeah, I mean, that's just about all the questions I have at the moment. You know her better than I do. I guess my last thing would be like, what do you think based off of everything that we've talked about and everything that you've learned so far? Is anything sticking out to you?
Based off of everything, me knowing her and knowing how she is, and how tight-knit we are, like, I don't think she would run away.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like she was taken, like, on that short walk from where she was dropped off to the school. It was early in the morning. I'm not sure how many cars were around.
Mm-hmm.
I think she was dropped off somewhere between 8:30 and 8:45 in the morning, which is earlier than we normally take her.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I want to say, I think from what I understood, Orange County got footage of someone by the church in a description of what she was wearing early that morning, just hanging out in the parking lot, and then she got up and left.
Yeah, so the video, they wrote it here, but there was a video of essentially what looks like her.
I still wonder about this.
45, just about that time, walking into that church parking lot that's right near where she got dropped off by Stefan. And it looks like she sits there for about 15 minutes or so and then walks away. So
I'm wondering if it's typical for her to wait at that parking lot too for my stepdad to pick her up from school. So it's not abnormal for her to hang out there.
In that parking lot?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you think of any reason why she might have chosen yesterday morning to wait there? I mean, obviously, your stepdad's not picking her
he
up
wasn't
in the
picking her
morning,
up.
but
I wonder if she knew, like, if she had an idea she was.
I wonder who that was. Like, they saw somebody on that camera footage wearing, even though it was grainy, that appeared to be wearing what she was wearing. Who was that? Was that just another child that went to the school? I mean, it was somebody. Did somebody pretend to be Maddie for Stefan? Like Jennifer? I don't know. That shit's always bothered me.
She was super early, so she was just trying to kill time a little bit. But I don't know why she didn't go directly to the school. Like,
yeah.
She should have.
Okay.
I know when Stefan dropped her off, he said that he saw her rummaging through her phone as he drove away.
Hold on.
like Kiki looking into not her phone,
Her
sorry,
backpack.
her backpack.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm assuming she was looking for her phone and realized she didn't have it with her at that time.
Got it.
But
Okay. Does she have any kind of boyfriend or significant other at school that she's ever talked about or expressed?
no boyfriend. She did recently tell Stefan that she had a crush on a boy.
Oh, okay.
Right there. And I think that again is the motive.
And that's
And we saw messages between them and nothing seemed weird. But you can look through that as well. His
Thank
name
you.
is
I assume another middle school boy.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. All right. Well, that is all the questions I have for you right now. I'm going to go ahead and end this, and I'll just get one more quick thing from you. 11:44 hours.
Okay, so that's the end of that. Now we're going to jump over here to Hidden True Crime. Please give them a like and subscribe. She has this interview. Again, I really don't like playing other people's videos. That's their hard work that went into this. But unfortunately, I have checked through everything that I have, and I do not have this interview that I know of. Also, Grizzly True Crime has this interview out as well, and she does a really good job with it. I'll have to see. Actually, it looks like she just does the interview. I don't know. We'll check Grizzly True Crime. But also give because I really like Griselda personally. We will also, and I know it's not up. I'm about to pull it up. We will please also give Hidden True Crime a like and subscribe. They deserve it. They pull these FOIA requests. Hopefully one day I can be on their level and be able to get all of this stuff out at the same time they do. Calm down, sir. One day I'll be like Griselda and the girl from Hidden True Crime. All right, so I think she said something. We'll back it all the way up to the beginning and listen to Miss Griselda on Grizzly True.
Welcome back to another episode of Grizzly True Crime. My name is Griselda K, and in this video, I'm going to provide what I've done many times before throughout the studying of this case of Madeline Soto, and I'm going to provide you with a raw audio file of the police interview conducted with Jen Soto on April 18th of 2024. Now, if you're wondering why my demeanor is this way, I'm so angry about this. I'm so devastated for Madeline Soto. She did not have a protective mother. It's hard to even call Jen Soto a mother. It just is. Like, if you hear this, it is so frustrating. So if you've never heard it before, then you'll hear it here without any commentary. Of course, if you want to hear my commentary and what the community had to say, I've linked the live stream in the description box for you, as well as in the pinned comments. So join us over there. Make sure that you are subscribed as well with all your notifications on so you can join us at the next live stream. I love to talk about these cases with you to see what you guys pick up, what you think about things. And thankfully, we don't have to go through this alone because
she feels really strongly about the Madeline Soto case. And I value her opinion on things. Please subscribe and like her channel. She does amazing work. And her live streams are always really good. Hopefully one day I'll have people that'll come to my lives and we can talk and I'll get to know what you guys think about what I'm saying in these cases that I pull information on as well.
So devastating to think about.
That's StreamYard. My internet's great.
The abuse that Maddie suffered for so many years based on evidence found on Stefan Stones' phone. He's facing the death penalty. My goodness. So he's been charged with Madeline Soto's murder. He's also been charged with over 60 counts of CSAM charges. And it doesn't seem like Jen Soto will ever be held accountable.
The CSAM charges is going to be the possession and manufacturing of child pornography from the stuff he had on his phone.
Say never, but it just does sound like she has immunity. It seems like that's why the police were saying they have no plans to arrest her, and that's devastating in itself. Okay, so I don't want to talk too much. I just want to get to the audio for you. Please come and join us in the next live stream. Let me know what you think, and please comment below. I want to hear your thoughts. What did you pick up? Where did you pick up any more inconsistencies? I have to say more because there's already been so many. Is anything that stood out to you? Let me know. I look forward to reading your comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe.
Please note that this content.
Please, again, like and subscribe and comment on her stuff. Now, Hidden True Crime explains that the type of immunity that she has means that she can't be charged, and what she has said cannot be used against her in court. That does not, from what she said, it does not mean that she cannot eventually face charges on other things if the state has that. And if that is a different type of immunity and they gave her that specific type of immunity, I would hope it's because one day she does is going to be charged, but I don't know. I honestly did not know there was 2 types of immunity, and Grizzly True Crime did not say that, so I don't know which one basically, if Grizzly True Crime doesn't know that it's that type of immunity, or if Hidden True Crime is thinking something else. But I would tend to lean with Hidden True Crime about the different types of immunity, because it would make sense that they leave the door open to go back and charge her if they need to.
Content is for adults only. Viewer discretion advised. If you haven't yet, hit the subscribe, like, and share.
I'll try to skip a little bit forward on her.
Good morning. We are at the State Attorney's Office in Kissimmee. It's 8:57 a.m. It is April 18th, 2024. I am William J. I am the Division Chief for the Homicide Unit. With me is Danielle Pinnell, also from the Homicide Unit in Kissimmee. Can the detectives identify themselves?
Detective Mark Morris.
Detective Kyle Smallwood. And with us is
Jefferson.
with your attorney, Matthew Spark. All right. We went over some things before we went on the record and told you the opportunity to ask any questions that you need to ask. If you need a break to consult with your attorney, that is absolutely fine. We'll all step out of the room, turn off our recorders, and let you exercise your constitutional right to have counsel. There's no problem with that. There's water fountains here. There's restrooms. I don't know if you're a smoker or not, but if you get desperate, we can make an outside break time, but we are kind of under time constraints. With that all said, would you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, this is an investigative subpoena.
So she does sound kind of upset and sad so far. Everything they're doing is normal. They have to make sure that they swear in anybody that's on a police interview if they plan to use it in court. So, you have to be read your Miranda rights, or you're supposed to be read them, or given a piece of paper to sign that has your Miranda rights on it, which is the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law, all of that. And in order to use this audio, I think they're swearing them in so that they can use this audio file in court when they go up against Stephen Stearns, who, again, is facing the death penalty. And I think he needs that. And I think he needs to die in a horrible way. I would, again, for this case, do an eye for an eye. I think that the things that was done to Madeline needs to be done to him, and then he needs to be bludgeoned to death like he did to her. That would be justice to me. But, a lot of people might say that's harsh. I don't think so. I don't.
So you've been compelled to be here. And in our country, under the 5th Amendment and the 14th Amendment is applied to you under the Florida Constitution as well, you cannot be forced to incriminate yourself. So anything you say today can't and won't be used against you unless you just don't tell us the truth. And I've already explained to your attorney, Mr. Bark, whether or not you've made any inconsistent statements in the past, that is dirt under the bridge, and either a misdemeanor was committed or it wasn't. But we're not going to be using that as a basis of some sort of perjury by false statements, because those other charges.
Okay, so again, he's referencing, I guess they have pointed out where she has lied or told an inconsistent statement, and perjury is a misdemeanor. So when he references the misdemeanor or that charge, he's telling her that even though committing perjury is a misdemeanor charge, she's not going to be charged with committing perjury.
It wouldn't be perjury anyways. So the most important thing today is to tell the truth. I also explained derivative use immunity, which means if you said that there was a gun, and obviously there's no gun in this case, buried in your attorney's yard, we couldn't go dig up that gun if you told us that, oh yeah, there's the gun that was used is right there. We wouldn't be able to do that. We would have to show that we learned all those things independently from this interview. Okay? Do you have any questions? All right, so let's get started.
Before you start, let me just make sure we're clear on the record. Off the record, we had discussed our position on the concerns we have. Ms. Soto was interrogated by law enforcement previously. She was under a tremendous amount of duress and stress, being that her child was missing and then she was found deceased. There's been media hysteria about this. There's been people asking for her to be prosecuted, tarred, feathered, executed. And so with that said, we have the concern that you brought up about if there's something said inconsistent today, not being used against her for filing a false police report.
Right, so for example, if she said something that was false then.
I keep moving my mouse like this because if I do that, it seems to cut out less. So I just wanted to let you know kind of why I'm doing that.
We have no idea that was false now before this interview, but she comes in and admits that it was false today. We can't use these statements or that admission that it was false against her, just like we couldn't use anything else against her from this interview.
Okay.
Okay. All right. My understanding is that on February 25th of this year, you were working at the hotel on Disney property out of Coronado Springs.
Yes.
You have to answer out loud and loud enough to get caught on the record. I know you're upset. I know.
Yes.
All right. And did you get off at 10 p.m.?
Yes.
All right. Did you go directly home?
Yes.
About how long does it take you to get home?
About 25 to 30 minutes.
And when you get home, who is downstairs, if anybody? You have a two-story, is it a townhome? Is that the best word for it?
Yeah, it's a townhome.
If anybody is downstairs, who is downstairs?
I saw my daughter Madeline and Stefan.
Do you recall what Madeline was wearing?
No.
And do you recall what Stefan was wearing?
I can't tell you. No.
I guess if I'm not mistaken, they're talking about when she worked at Disney. I'm wondering what the hell is this before what happened, or I missed that, but I'm concerned about what she's about to possibly say.
When you get home from work, do you need to kind of eat a late dinner before you get settled in for bed?
Yes.
And do you eat there at your home?
Yes.
What do you eat?
I think I had a pub sub waiting for me in the house.
Okay, so I'm assuming this is when the murder occurred. And I think they're asking her questions like, what did you eat? Now, what they were wearing could be in reference to what happened, but like asking what you ate for dinner. It's just trying to kind of warm her up to get her to recall details. While what she ate might not be important, it's getting her to recall details of this particular night.
So much.
Okay. Did anybody join you in sitting down and eating?
No, I ate in my bedroom.
Okay. Did it look like anybody else had recently cooked food or eaten any food there that night?
From what I saw, no. I didn't see anyone cooking, or it didn't look like anyone had been cooking.
Okay. I believe in one of your former interviews, you mentioned that Madeline might have gone over with you kind of what she got at the birthday party since you didn't have the chance to go because you were at work. Mm-hmm. When and where does that occur?
So this is definitely going to be recalling incidents that happened that Sunday night.
That occurs like right after I get home. It occurs in my bedroom. Everyone's in my room.
And so by everyone, let's just be clear, since I understand you have some roommates. So what do you mean by everyone?
Okay. Madeline, Stefan, and myself were in my bedroom.
Okay. At this point in time, do you recall what Madeline was wearing?
I don't know.
Let me ask it a different way. Can you tell me whether or not she was wearing a long-sleeved green sweatshirt and jeans?
Oh, no.
Okay. Would she have kind of been in her bed gear, or do you think she could have still been in the dress that she wore to her birthday celebration?
She would have been in pajamas. I can't recall the exact pajamas, but she would have been in pajamas. She had already, by this point in the evening, she had already showered and changed out of that birthday dress.
And was it your understanding from your sister that she had gotten dropped off about 8:30, she being Madeline?
8:30, 8:45, something around that time, yeah.
And what's your understanding as to when Stefan had gotten there? If you know. If you don't guess, it's fine.
Actually, while he's saying that, this is important. So there's things that you might think should be a certain way because that's just the way things go. But don't just guess based on past history that it's the same as what happened on that particular day. If you don't know, you don't know.
Then yeah, exactly what time he got there.
I thought that he was at the birthday party, but I could be mistaken. Actually, he might not have been, because I think the mother who was giving her the birthday party didn't like Stephen, and I don't blame her.
Okay. You were at work, so I just didn't know if, like, sometimes families check in, hey, I made it, by text or by phone call or anything like that. Do you not remember any of that?
I don't remember.
Okay. How long were the three of you in your bedroom?
I'm going to say for about 30 minutes.
Okay. Yeah. And did Madeline tell you about the party?
She was really happy.
Did she tell you what food they had there at the party?
Yeah, they had her favorites.
What are her favorites?
Puerto Rican food. So arroz con gandules.
All right, so you're gonna have to translate to English. I know frijoles and arroz and a couple other things, but help me out.
If I recall correctly, she had requested rice. It's a type of rice and beans.
Mm-hmm.
It's rice with pigeon peas.
Okay.
And pernil, which is, I'm not sure how to. It's a pork, but I'm not sure how they cook it.
Okay.
So cooked pork. That's typically what she requests for her parties. That's like her favorite meal.
Okay. And what kind of gifts did she get?
She got a lot of money.
I'm not even gonna lie, that food sounds good right now.
That's what she ended up showing me. I think she had a few trinkets, but like most of it was just a big wad of money that she was so excited for.
All right. Yeah. Is there any particular reason Stefan could make it up to the party? Because it's my understanding he didn't exactly work or anything.
He wouldn't have been invited. The party was held at my mom's house, and my mom and him have never had a great relationship. She's never liked him. So he wouldn't have been invited to the party at all. It just would have been my whole family. And then me, if I hadn't worked, I would have been.
Okay. Now, during this 30 minutes that the three...
Remember, I was just talking about how I didn't think the mom really liked him, and I think she's a smart woman for not liking him.
Three of you are in your bedroom. Is Madeline engaging in any of her kind of nighttime routine or, getting ready for bed? What else is going on, if anything?
We spent a long time talking about gifts and having her show me, and then we counted out her money. I can't remember if she had finished.
I'm sorry about the
With all
wording.
of her
I'm trying
bedtime
to keep
routine.
it from doing
Okay.
that.
Does she brush her teeth at night?
In the shower.
In the shower? Okay.
Uh-huh.
And that occurred before you got home?
Yeah.
And my understanding with her nighttime medication is that's something that you would like to make sure she had bedtime or so?
Something like that, yeah.
So were you present for that occurring, or did that occur after you got home?
That did not occur on my call. I believe I had instructed Maddie when she got home to go ahead and take them herself.
Okay. And is that something that she's allowed to do?
From time to time, yeah.
When you say they, is there what my understanding was there was some hydroxyzine? Is there anything else she takes at night?
Just hydroxyzine.
All right. And the Miralax is when?
Miralax is.
If I'm not mistaken, hydroxyzine is going to be like an anti-anxiety medicine. It can be given to pregnant women, if it's what I'm thinking of. And it does make you tired. I'm either going to have to speed this up, or I'm going to have to stop it and go. I might still end up having to stop it and go, but I'm going to try to do it on 1.5 playback speed and see if we can still understand everything and gather what all they're saying in this interview. So yeah. And I apologize about it loading. I have full internet service. I don't know what's going on with StreamYard or why. Like, I have like one little bar on StreamYard.
So that would have been earlier while you were at work too if she took it?
Yeah.
May not have because she was at the party?
Yeah, because I had been training at work that week and we had been going back and forth with my mom's a lot. The Miralax wasn't consistent.
Okay. All right. Now, Madeline, does she lay out her clothes for school the next day, or is that something she gets in the morning, makes a game time decision like my kid?
Typically, it is a game time decision morning of.
Okay. What about this specific evening? Do you remember anything about it?
Yes. This evening, we had, I had already discussed prior to Stefan coming to visit that he was going to help me take Maddie to school that day. So because I knew that was what was going to happen, that
April, if you're on the internet, I'm going to need you to get off of it.
Very close.
You use
Have
my
everything ready.
hotspot.
Have it back ready. Your water bottle, everything you need ready, so that way you could just grab your stuff and head out. It won't be too much of a hassle in the morning. And so she did. She picked out her clothing. I asked her what she was wearing, and she told me what she had picked out. I said, okay, fine.
Right, so she picks it out, but does she physically take it out of somewhere, wherever she stored the clothes, and put it somewhere?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure if she took that clothes upstairs with her or anything like that.
All right. So as far you didn't see them in your room, and did you have the opportunity to kind of see her cubby part of the living room? See if she put them on her bed or anything like that?
I haven't seen them.
Does Madeline have like a water bottle or a hydro flask or whatever the kids call it that she likes to sleep with and bring up or bring wherever she's sleeping?
Typically not. That stays downstairs in her backpack, and then she'll clean it in the morning and then fill it back up and leave it in her backpack. That typically stays in the backpack.
Okay. Favorite stuffed animal or stuffed animals? Anything that always goes with her wherever she's sleeping?
We saw at her room how she had stuffed animals, and it just brought to the forefront how young this child was and all the things that were being done to this child. We know that he was doing those inappropriate things to her from the age of 8 until she died at 13, just having turned 13. And you know, seeing all the stuffed animals and all of the basically toys in her room just brought to the forefront how young and innocent this child really was.
She does have a few stuffies and blankies. Did I see any that day?
Yeah, specifically, did you see if she brought any of that stuff upstairs with her?
No, I didn't see any of that stuff upstairs.
Now, separate question. Generally, habitually, like your attorney was saying, there's a difference between specific memory, but generally, would she do that? Not saying that you saw it that night.
Generally, would she do what?
Have stuffies and blankets and her favorite stuff.
Yes, she typically would.
So if Stefan says something like Maddie's building her nest and getting settled in, would that to you mean like her stuff is part of this nest, or what do you think that would mean, if you know?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Do you recall getting that text from Stefan that night that Maddie had settled into her nest for the night?
I don't remember the text. No.
Okay. My understanding was that at some point you told them it was time.
I don't understand how you don't recall getting a text message that you got. Like, I mean, this is, I think, April 18th. She went missing on the 27th or 28th. Oh, okay. Well, this is a month and a half later. If she hadn't had access to her phone, maybe that's why. But I would think you would remember things like that. Like, for a normal person, the day that your daughter dies or goes missing or whatever, you're going to remember every single little detail because you're going to go back and play through your mind. What happened? Was there some kind of sign? Was there something I missed? Was there something I could have done differently? And I would think you would remember everything, like in photographic detail, personally.
It was time to go to bed.
Yeah.
Do you recall about what time that was?
Around 11 o'clock.
So that's consistent with getting home at 10:30, having this half-hour discussion and eating your pub sub? Is that a yes?
Yes.
All right. Do they comply with your wishes to go upstairs when you say that at about 11 o'clock?
Yes, they do.
Okay. Is there any further communication between either you and Madeline or you and Stefan about, all right, kids, it's time to go to bed, anything like that? Or was that the last you had heard from either one of them that night?
All right, kids, plural, it's time to go to bed. Again, going back to what I was saying.
I think at some point, Stefan comes downstairs to use the restroom and then goes back upstairs. But after that, I don't recall interacting or saying anything. So
There's a bathroom upstairs. Why is he coming downstairs to use the bathroom?
Okay. And my understanding is that you had some sort of parental controls over Maddie's phone. Is that accurate?
I'm not sure by parental controls exactly. I didn't have any limits or anything on the phone set up.
Well, like, for instance, if she wanted to install Game Pigeon, does that have to go through you?
Yeah. So any permissions for any apps, she would have to ask me for.
All right. And does that ring a bell as to occurring that Sunday? Game Pigeon?
No, I don't remember.
Okay. All right. So that's the last time you hear from either one of them until the morning. My understanding is that Stefan comes down and is dealing with your dog. Is there any communication other than perhaps Stefan coming down to use the restroom? Is there any other communication that you have between Stefan and Maddie? Do you see them? Now, I've said communicate. Do you see them? Do you go up and check on them? Do you see Madeline or Stefan from the point you kick them out at 11 p.m. until you see Stefan at 8 in the morning ish is what you guess for the dog?
No, I didn't see them.
Okay. Now, when you go to sleep, do you sleep through the night or do you kind of wake up and not have consistent good sleep?
I sleep through the night.
Okay. So there wouldn't be any time where you get up and you're taking steps or.
Now, we know that she supposedly took medication, and she said she took medication that night to help her sleep because that was the whole excuse for this predator to be in the bed with her child, was that she needed good sleep. So I'm sure she took medication that night to go to sleep. So I don't imagine she would have woken up.
Or just checking on your phone because you can't go back to sleep. As far as you remember, when you go to sleep, you're out until the dog thing in the morning. Did you hear or see anything during those hours involving Stefan or Madeline?
I didn't hear or see anything that night.
All right. What's the first thing you remember when you wake up after having gone to sleep?
Lord of mercy. Like, I walk across the house.
I wake up
all the way across the house, away from the dang box, and then it starts working, and then it stops working when I get back in here at the box, and I can't go over to that side of the house because my kids are sleeping. Lord have mercy.
To Stefan trying to put the leash on the dog.
Okay. Now, is this the first time that you've ever woken up to Stefan trying to put a leash on your dog, or is that something that has occurred before in the past?
I'm going to say this is the first time. It's not normal for any of us to put the leash on the dog on the bed. Because if he's on top of any, like, bed, couch, anything, he'll pee. He gets really nervous. You have to do it on the floor. So I found it really weird that I did that, but.
All right, so let me ask a little more broadly. Is this the first time Stefan's ever come into your room while you're sleeping to take the dog out for you in the morning?
I can't recall if he's done it before.
Okay. Did you find it unusual then, or what did you think when this is occurring?
When it happened, I think I was more. I found it off, but I was more worried over the dog. I was like, please don't pee on the bed. I don't want to do laundry.
Okay.
So I was more anxious over that. He put the dog on the leash and told me to lay down and go back to sleep. And I said, okay.
So were you not laying down when he tells you to go back and lay down?
No, when he put the leash on the dog, I shot off the bed because I was going to help him. I was like, no, let me do it. And he's like, no, go back to sleep. I'm fine. I got this. Okay. I said, okay.
Now, do you go back to sleep or do you check your phone or do anything?
I think I go back to sleep. I don't look at anything.
In this period of time that you have been awoken by Stefan, do you hear or see anybody else in your household?
I hear somebody in the kitchen. I'm not sure who it was.
Okay. Could you identify it by size, like their steps? Could you identify gender by their voice? Anything like that?
All I heard was sounds of like cabinets shutting, like somebody in there shutting, like looking for something and shutting.
Okay. Now, if your daughter had been awake, would she come in and say goodbye to you before school or not? Just let you sleep?
I would have hoped she would have come by and say goodbye to me. I can't remember if this is one of the first times that Stefan actually took her to school, so I would have hoped she would have said good night, but I'm not sure.
All right, so do you fall back asleep?
I do.
So it sounds there like she almost gets emotional, but then doesn't. Like, I hope she would have said goodbye to me on the last day that she was alive, but I'm not sure. Like, I don't know. I wish there was more emotion in that. I am playing it on 1.25 speed, but still, you could hear emotion in her voice if it was there. And it sounded like she almost started to have some emotion, but then didn't.
And when do you wake up and how do you wake up?
I wake up at like 9 o'clock in the morning to my alarm. I wake up at 9 o'clock in the morning to my alarm. I get ready, I think at around 9:30, 9:45, I leave for my doctor's appointment.
Okay. So in this period of time from when you're waking up and getting ready, do you see anybody else in your home?
At this point, I'm not too sure. I know throughout the day I've seen my roommate in the kitchen cooking and doing her thing, but I don't recall if it was at this time.
Look at that baby. She is so precious. It's sad.
Did you see your daughter this morning on the 26th?
No.
Did you have any texts or phone calls or any other type of communication through any possible app on your phone? Like, hey, Mom, love you at school, whatever. Any communications from Madeline?
Anything from her? Nothing.
All right. How about from Stefan by the time that you wake up at 9? Any text or communication from him? Maddie's dropped. I'm off to the game store or whatever he's doing.
No. I didn't hear back from Stefan until 10:20ish, and he had told me he left his phone at home that whole morning by accident. And I had asked him how the morning went, how was Maddie, and he let me know that this morning went great. We made great time. She got busy super quick. He was going to take her to McDonald's for breakfast, but she changed her mind. All she wanted to do was sleep in the car, so he let her sleep. He took her to school and dropped her off where he said he dropped her off, and that was it.
And you had a 10:15 appointment for a blood draw?
Yes.
And did you go anywhere else prior to getting to your appointment for your blood draw? Did you go directly there or not directly there? That's basically the question.
Oh, I went directly there.
Right. And after your blood draw, did you go directly back home?
Yes.
About what time did you get home?
Sometime between 11:15 and 11:30.
Did you have any other appointments or doctor's appointments later in the day?
I was supposed to have had one, but I canceled it
When did you cancel it?
that same day
Why did you cancel it?
because it was a $350 Botox appointment that I didn't want to spend the money on. I
Well, that's interesting. We're going and getting Botox and worried about Botox, but not about your child. Okay.
changed my mind last second.
When you get home from your blood draw appointment, is there anybody else at your home?
When I get home from blood draw. Yeah. Seven was home.
All right. And can you describe?
And what I mean by that is like you're getting Botox, worried about your appearance, but all this time you weren't worried about Maddie and all the things going on with her. I understand that she canceled the appointment for that day, but it sounds like she canceled it because it was a $350 appointment, not because her child. Well, I guess she wouldn't have known at the time that her child was missing, so it's different. But I mean, it irritates me that she's going and getting Botox and shit, and all this shit was going on with Maddie.
What he's wearing, what he's doing, his demeanor, what's going on?
I can't recall what he's wearing. It might be a red shirt with a graphic on it.
Okay.
He's sitting in my bedroom on my desk.
Prior to you getting there, he's in your room, or is that where you guys go to talk?
That he was hanging out there in my room.
Okay.
My room is kind of like the general hangout spot.
Okay.
I walk into my room. He's sitting there on the computer chair. He's talking, acting normal, asking about the morning and how everything went, and that he let me know the errands that he ran that morning or what he was up to.
And what did he say he was up to?
He said he had dropped Maddie off at school and then afterwards went to a vape shop so he can buy vaping things.
Okay.
But that the store wasn't open, so he waited a long time for them to open. They never did. So he drove around, killed time, and then eventually made it back to my house at like 10:20. When later on, when I got home and he was home, we started discussing, or he started telling me that he was going to go back out to run a few more errands in a little bit down 182. And he gave me the name of a few stores that he might stop at. I'm like, okay. I asked him if he wanted
I wonder if it was normal for him to tell her stores that he was going to stop at, or if it's something he did that day just to try to give an account of his location and approximately where he was at.
Wanted to meet me at my house by 2:30 so that we can go pick up Maddie from school together. And he said, yeah, he'll be back by 2:30. And I said, okay.
So was that the plan, to get her together, or was it ever discussed that he would get her alone?
The plan was for us to get her together.
Okay. All right. And so does he leave before you leave?
Actually, before this, while we were still discussing, while we were having the conversation in my room, he did mention at one point, while he was sitting there, that he had to reboot his phone, or that he had to update his phone. And what was it? He had to update his phone. So I told him, stop avoiding it, do it. Like, updates take a while, like, do it. And while he was updating his phone, he said, I don't know what I did, but I just factory reset my phone. And I said, that's weird. I didn't know that you could do that. He said, yeah, a button popped up and I pressed it and it just reset my entire phone. And I'm like, oh, that sucks.
So does he leave before you do to go do these errands he was telling you about?
Yes, he does leave.
Do you stay at home until it's time to go get Madeline?
Yes.
Do you hear anything from Stefan while he's out doing these errands?
No.
So 2:30 rolls around. Is Stefan back home yet?
No. At this point, I leave.
Do you call? Try and call him or text him or communicate with him?
Yeah, I have been calling him, like, maybe starting.
See, as soon as I stop moving my mouse, it starts loading.
15 minutes before I was supposed to leave, just to see where he was.
Did he answer?
No. I leave at 2:30. Around 10 minutes later, I get a phone call from him. And he said, I'm so sorry. I left my phone at home again on accident. I was driving down 192 and my tire exploded or shredded, and I had to pull over into one of the plazas and change my tire. He said he hurt his thumb doing that. And that he was.
I wonder if his thumb was hurt from Maddie fighting back or something, or if he legitimately hurt it with the tire. I think if Maddie was fighting back and that's how he hurt his thumb, it probably would have been stated earlier in the day though to her. So he probably did hurt his thumb while he was trying to change the car. Change the tire. I mean, it doesn't seem like, I don't know. He doesn't seem like the person to know much about things like that, to me, in my opinion. I'm going to go get me a refill of coffee real quick. So I'm going to let this play for just a second.
He was late and didn't make it back on time for that reason.
All right. When you leave to go pick Madeline up at 2:30, do you take her phone with you?
I do.
And how is it that you come to get her phone to go with you?
At some point in the morning, I was organizing and putting things away, and I walked into her bedroom and I saw her phone on her dresser. And I just assumed, oh, she must have left it here while getting dressed and forgot it.
Okay. Was it on?
Yes.
And sometimes when you bump or move phones, the notification screen comes up. Did you happen to do that? And did you see if there's any incoming notifications that she had missed?
I hadn't seen any.
Okay. All right. So you go to school, and due to time constraints, like an NFL football game, we're going to kind of jump ahead a little bit.
Shut that door for me, please. Oh,
My understanding is that you want to be first in line, and you have to get there early to do that. And I understand that.
Yeah.
She doesn't come out.
She doesn't.
Did you call her phone?
I did.
Why did you do that?
So is she about to get emotional?
Because I forgot I had it with me. I was like, where is she? Why isn't she out yet? So I start calling her phone, and then I start realizing I'm hearing vibrating, and then I look down, and I see her phone's with me. I'm like, oh, okay. How am I going to get a hold of her? Because I'm the first in line, The cars behind me already have children. They're full. They're waiting for me to leave.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to kind of jump ahead. Did Madeline ever complain to you about believing that Stefan had taken her Christmas money?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Christmas money went missing. And we were both, I don't even know how to say this. We had collected all of her envelopes with Christmas money and consolidated into one. I'll put all her money into one. And then I said, I will put this somewhere safe. And I thought I had put it in my nightstand. A few days later comes around, whatever.
This sick prick is doing all these things to this child, stealing all of her, her dignity, everything, and then gonna steal her damn Christmas money on top of it? Are you freaking serious? What the actual fuck, man? My God.
We start looking for it or asking for it or something like that, and we can't find it. We can't find it at all.
How are you taking this baby's Christmas money?
So let me just narrow it down. Did she accuse Stefan of taking it?
I'm not sure if she did directly. We both had the suspicion, but we're like, no, could he have? No, I don't think so. But I eventually found that money.
Okay, I'll just have it the mystery.
Well, thank God.
All right. So you had just started this job at Disney Coronado Springs like a week or two earlier, is that right?
Yes.
And your sister and other family members would help with Addie getting to school because of your job?
Yes, my mom, my sister, yes.
Okay. Why is it that now Stefan on February 26th is coming up to help as opposed to any of your family members helping getting Madeline to school?
I had asked for him to come and help me because I think I was working a lot of night shifts or like really late shifts. And I just wanted the opportunity to see Maddie, because I wanted to spend more time with my daughter throughout the week while I was working, versus had she stayed at my mom's, I wouldn't have seen her all week.
Okay.
So that was just me wanting to see her and spend time with her.
Did Madeline stay at your mom's house fairly frequently?
Every few weekends here and there, like just for the weekend kind of thing.
So if she described it.
Well, thank God that this baby had somewhere to go to get away from all of this. And she was going there frequently. That's good to hear.
Her friends as her second home and kind of offer up its better jacuzzi and pool. Does that sound like that's the place?
Yes.
Where does Madeline sleep when she's over at your mom's?
She will sleep in bed with my mom.
Okay. Did she ever have sleepovers? Have friends come over and sleep over?
Slumber parties, no.
Did she ever go and attend any?
No.
Is there any particular reason? She's a 12-year-old girl on the cusp of being 13.
Yeah, I've been very uncomfortable with sleepovers just because I know what can happen. Anything can happen in a sleepover.
Well, then you can be the host house like we kind of were. You never hosted any sleepovers for her friends?
For her friends, no.
Did she ask about it?
Yeah, she did.
You're this concerned about her going to a sleepover that you don't let her go because you think something could happen or etc. But you've got this child sleeping in a room in the living room that's just divided by one of those. It's a divider, but it's like the things that you used to put up in your room to get changed out behind. That's all you've got separating this child's bedroom from the living room and the kitchen. She can't even have her own room because you have roommates in the house, but you're worried about her going to a sleepover. Let's say she didn't know about Stefan and all of the things, but you're basically putting her on a silver platter. You got her around roommates and all kinds of things, but you don't let her go to a sleepover? That's kind of fucked up.
Did ask.
Was it probably a source of contention or arguments?
It was. I guess what was the source of argument is her and she wanted to really sleep over her best friend's house, and I just kept saying no. You never know what could happen. I don't know the dad. I don't know the brother. I don't know anybody there. I don't know what could happen.
Just got her at home by herself around roommates and Stefan, and not even in a bedroom that she could shut the door and lock it. Got it.
Just afraid of her getting assaulted.
Did Madeline do her own laundry?
Yeah.
Did she cook for herself?
I was teaching her how to make a few things, so I mean, yeah, she could, I guess.
Okay. What's her normal routine for getting ready for bed?
We give her her meds.
I'm sorry, take your time.
You get emotional? Talking about going to bed?
We get ready for bed. I'd give her her medication. She would get in the shower.
Take a long shower, I understand.
Like an hour plus, yeah. Okay. She loved it. She'd get out, she'd get dressed, she'd let her hair towel dry for a while, and then she would brush it. We would watch some TV. She'd probably have a snack before bed as well.
Okay. What were kind of her nighttime uniforms? I mean, everybody kind of has their pajamas, but they're not necessarily pajamas. What was her routine nightwear?
She really liked wearing shorts. So she had a few pajama outfits, but she really liked wearing shorts and baggy t-shirts.
Okay. How about her routine getting ready for school in the morning? What's that about?
We'd wake up. The alarm would start ringing around 7:30. We'd snooze it up until 8 o'clock. Then she'd get up. She'd get dressed. And then she'd lay back down in bed while she would wait for me to make her breakfast.
So she's a breakfast eater? Okay.
She'd have breakfast. Then she would start, with brushing her hair, brushing her teeth, putting on makeup. I would give her ADHD medications for school.
Is that every day or just school days? So it sounds like you're heading out like 8:45 or 9?
Yes.
And it takes like, what did you say, 15, 20 minutes to get to school?
Yes.
And first bell's 9:38?
9:20.
Something like that?
9:20,
Okay.
yeah.
So on Monday the 26th, 7:30 seems like a really early time to depart to go to middle school, even if you're getting Mickey D's. What was the discussion about when Stefan and Madeline were going to leave on the 26th?
There wasn't one.
So you didn't know anything about these plans, or did you? Or
I knew that they were going to go to McDonald's, but not 7 o'clock in the morning. That wasn't.
Okay.
I had assumed like 8 o'clock. But even then, 8 o'clock is kind of early, like 8:30, because you could just go to McDonald's, be done by 9, and then drop her off at school. But McDonald's was right the block away from the school. So
Madeline's not driving, so she can eat while she's riding.
Yeah. So I
And
don't.
she takes about an hour to get ready in the morning?
Mhm.
Yes?
Yes.
So if they were leaving at 7:30, you'd think she'd have to go at 6:30 to get ready and go through a routine.
Okay, because I try to be fair about all things, to say that Madeline wasn't driving so she could eat, yes, she could eat in the car. Does that mean that, like, if they said they ate at the restaurant, if that was what had happened, that it couldn't be possible? No, you can't say things like that. Well, she can eat in the car because she's not driving. But you don't know if they stopped at McDonald's and ate in the restaurant, or, no, I know we know that she didn't in this case, but in other cases, like, just because you can eat in the car because you're not driving doesn't mean that you're not going to go in the store and eat.
Routine, right?
Yeah, that's extremely early.
And is that what Stefan told you after these events unfolded? Was that they left early, like 7:30? What did he ever tell you?
It was early. I can't remember the time. I think I dropped her off in front of her school sometime between 8:15 and 8:45.
You say I. What do you mean by that? Did you drop her off that
No,
morning?
I'm speaking, sorry. As what Stefan was telling me. Stefan let me know that he dropped her off sometime between 8:15 and 8:45 on the road by the church close to her school.
Mhm.
And I remember asking him, why so early? That's too early. School doesn't start until 9:30. Why did you drop her off that early? Oh, I don't know. We just left the house and made good time. I wasn't paying attention to the clock.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did Madeline ever have like effects from taking the hydroxyzine in the morning? Like still be kind of sluggish?
Yes.
How often would that occur? Was that like every morning or not every morning?
Not every morning. If we happen to give her medication later than normal and routine, that would happen. But
Okay. And were there ever any instances where she had taken too much of medicine? Perhaps you and Stefan had given her medicine, not knowing that the other person had?
yes, that's happened
How
before.
Just once or more?
I want to say once.
Were you taking?
I think that's once that you know of. Hydroxyzine shouldn't make her still tired after several hours of sleep. I think that has more to do with Stefan drugging her.
Medicinal marijuana in pill form at any point for THC?
Yes.
And what do those pills or tablets or capsules look like?
They're purple capsules.
Did you ever suspect or confront Stefan about giving those medications to Madeline?
No.
So during this incident where Madeline had been double dosed with hydroxyzine, do you recall any conversation you had with Stefan and inquiring as to whether or not he had accidentally given her any of your THC?
That hadn't occurred to me. I had asked him the one morning Maddie wouldn't wake up and get ready for school, and she was just out of it. I assumed it was medication related, but I didn't realize. I'm like, did this one medication hit her too hard because we gave it to her late? I called poison control. I needed to see what would happen because at this.
That's good to hear though, that if she really didn't know what was going on, and then she sees Maddie having been drugged the night before by Stefan, but not knowing that, and how out of it she was this particular day, she called poison control, concerned for her well-being. I mean, that does make me feel a little better about it. Maybe she really didn't know.
At this point, I think I had gotten Stefan to admit that he gave her a second dose of the sleeping meds as well, because he thought I had given it to her in the first place. But that was with hydroxyzine. I didn't know anything about THC, the marijuana.
I'm just asking you.
Oh.
I'm asking if you remember having that conversation. There is a conversation on your phone about you were relaying that Madeline said that she suspected that it was different, bigger pills, and you relayed that to Stefan and had a conversation with him. And if you don't remember it because it was a year ago, that's fine. My next question is...
Okay, you can't make up excuses for Miss Soto while you're interviewing her. If you found that on her phone, that's pertinent information, talking about the different pill medication that she hadn't seen before, that Madeline had not seen before or wasn't used to taking, that Stefan gave her. Again, if you're a parent, if she really didn't know what was going on and didn't think anything of it, I could guess I understood not really thinking much of it. But this interviewer just made up an excuse for Jen Soto, and Jen Soto is lying because she had a conversation about it, and you're talking specifically about medications given to Madeline. You would remember a conversation. I'm going to remember a conversation. I don't care how far back it is, about my kid taking medicine that she didn't recognize and that the pills are bigger. And you've just made an excuse for her. Well, if you don't remember because it was a year ago, that's fine. You're not supposed to do that. You're making excuses for the client.
You have two female roommates?
Yes.
And one of them has a son that sleeps part-time over there?
Yes.
And so my understanding is they're it's like I don't know what to call it, like a bed breakfast. There's numbers on the doors upstairs?
Yeah, I don't know. To make it easier for the roommates, I just labeled each bedroom.
So they're in 2 and 3?
Yes.
All right. Now, bedroom number 4, at one point you told the police that your sister was staying with you, and that's why the sleeping arrangements were as they were. Was your sister ever staying with you, or did I misunderstand what you said?
No, my sister wasn't staying with me.
Okay. So let me ask you this. At what point did Madeline's bedroom kind of become the living room? When did that setup start?
I think as soon as a few months into us moving back into that townhouse.
And when would that have been?
Was it June of? sometime in 2022, but I'm not sure when.
Okay. It's my understanding that it's December of 2022 that you and Stefan kind of break up,
Yes.
but he still remains in the townhome.
Yes.
Why is that?
So even though we were broken up, I still consider him one of my best friends. I wanted to give him the opportunity to live there, and he had gotten a job at Disney when he was doing well.
Okay.
And I didn't want him to continue to lose that because he had been struggling for a long time to get a job or do anything with his own mental.
There's a point where people out here with mental health issues get jobs every day, stick with them, work them, etc. Like there's a point where you're just kind of apathetic about getting a job and money and all of that and not trying. And then there's people who have mental health issues that are on disability because they can't work. I've got a potty, so if it starts skipping, I apologize. I'll be right back as soon as I get done pottying. I'll move the mouse again so it stops skipping.
Mental health issues. Okay. So I just wanted to give him a chance to do something, be something. So
did he pay rent?
Yes.
How much rent did he pay?
$600 a month.
No footsies. Like always. So in December of 2022, kind of when the breakup happened, prior to that, what were the sleeping arrangements in your home? Was he sleeping in your bedroom as a couple?
Yes.
So who's in bedroom number 4, if anybody?
I think that room remained empty for a while. For a little bit, there was another roommate there, but it remained.
It bothers me that she calls him her best friend. I think he manipulated the shit out of her just to get at Maddie.
Empty for the most part.
And were your female roommates already there in 2 and 3?
Yes.
Why doesn't Madeline have that bedroom 4?
I wanted her to have bedroom 4, but my dad really wanted to rent. That whole unit that I live in is owned by my father.
Okay. So let me ask you this. Do you pay your father anything to live there, or does he just handle collecting the rent from your rentees, lessees, whatever they are?
I pay him rent as well.
Okay. What do you pay for the rent?
My portion of the rent was $400 a month.
All right. And what did the 2 female roommates pay?
$850 and $650.
Prior to Madeline having her own bedroom set up in the living room, where was she sleeping in that townhome?
In my bed with me.
Okay. And this is during a time frame when you worked together with Stefan. So is it the 3 of you every night?
Well, when we had first moved in, it was just me and Maddie. So it was just me and her on the bed. Then I think we eventually got her own bedroom. Stefan moves in eventually, and then at that point, it does become the 3 of us on the bed.
So Madeline's 12. She has her own bedroom. And how often is she sleeping in her own bed alone?
Hardly. She doesn't like sleeping alone. And she doesn't like the living room. It's too big, too quiet. She doesn't.
I wonder why she doesn't like sleeping alone.
It would be too dark, and then there would be spiders. She would see spiders, so.
So you say hardly. Were there ever nights where she just slept alone in her bed? Or is it 100%? Because there's a difference between hardly ever and 100% to me.
If she ever slept on that bed, it was like once.
Okay. All right. So now you've broken up with Stefan in December 2022, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's still paying rent, and he's there full time in bedroom number 4. Is that where he goes after you break up?
No, he stayed in my room for a few months. We've broken up, but we weren't sure how to discuss it with Maddie because it was beginning, it was the middle of the school year, and I didn't want to affect her in any way. So we just played it off, acted like everything was normal and fine for the first 6 months. And then eventually she caught on. And then once she did, we admitted to her that we were broken up. And then
So I wondered why she kept stepping around, even though they were broken up, supposedly. But I guess it was for Maddie. Like, if she thought that they had a close relationship and genuinely had no idea about what was going on in the house, I could understand her wanting to make it look like they were together to keep Madeline from being as stressed out as possible, because it did sound like she had some issues at school. Again, it still, maybe she didn't know. I mean, I don't know. It's all concerning, but maybe she really didn't know.
yeah, at that point is when he moved up to bedroom 4.
Okay. And once he moved up to bedroom 4, were there instances where Madeline would sleep alone upstairs with him?
I'm gonna say,
I want you to think carefully before you answer, because obviously we've gone through your phone and we've seen all the conversations that you've had with Stefan. So it's clear that that's occurring. So I'm giving you the chance to answer the question.
yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how many times it's happened.
Okay. Why are you allowing that to occur?
I saw Stephen as someone that I completely trusted with my life, my child's life. I thought he had cared for her as a father would. He had been in her life for more than half of it, playing the father role. I thought he cared for her the way I did.
Now, does there come a point in time in 2023 where you've kind of had enough of roommate ex-boyfriend Stefan and ask him to hit the road?
Yes.
And is that fair to say it was like October?
Yeah, like the end of October, because then I gave him all of November and told him he had to be out by December 1st, kind of thing.
It does sound like that she, I'm sorry, the interviewer is getting concerned with her, like she keeps trying to, excuse my French, but pussyfoot around the situation and make up excuses for the reason Stephen did things the way he did. And when they said, I want to remind you that we have your cell phone and we know what you were doing. Like, you can't say you didn't know about any of the text messages on your phone. You don't remember them, this and that. Like, that's not feasible. You know what's on your text messages. You know that you were letting them sleep together. I don't know that she knew about the abuse, but there's a point where, stop trying to bullshit me here, you know?
But yeah, that sounds about right.
And then did you kind of ask him to leave a month earlier and it was a source of arguments?
Yes.
Okay. So now at this point in time when he's being asked to leave, have you had any conversation with Maddie that mommy isn't together with Stefan anymore and this is kind of the ways of the world? Do you have that conversation with her?
She had, by June, she figured it out already. So she knew we weren't together or anything like that. So by December, yes, she had already known he was leaving, and
okay.
But that was okay.
Why is he coming back to visit after he's out?
we're still friendly with each other at this point. Christmas is coming up, and we wanted to spend Christmas together. So he comes up for a few days during Christmas, and then he does visit a few more times after that, but for the day. And it's to pick up packages. He keeps getting mail delivered to my house, packages. So he just comes up and picks them up.
And when he comes to visit after he's been kind of out, is he paying rent or?
You're still getting packages delivered to the house so you can come visit. I think that's an excuse to be around Maddie and to see her. Again, I question if Jennifer Soto knew anything, but she keeps lying about these text messages. I'm sorry, but you remember talking to him about medication that this child was given that she didn't recognize. You're going to remember a conversation like that. You're going to remember a conversation that you had about them sleeping in the same room together or whatever was just referenced a few minutes ago. You're going to remember that shit. I'm sorry, but you are. That really concerns me that she's lying about that. And the packages being delivered, he keeps coming to get the packages that are delivered to the house. That's an excuse to see Maddie. You could, out of all places in the world, having packages delivered to your parents' house is the most logical, and especially if you're living there, and you're having packages still delivered to that house. That was an excuse to see Maddie.
Or how's this working? Or is he just coming to visit?
He's just coming to visit.
Is your father making any arrangements to rent bedroom number 4? Because this is his income that he's losing.
Yeah, we had it. We had like an ad posted to see if we can get any renters. So we were trying to rent out, but then we had to stop.
And what happens if you end up renting room number 4? Is Stefan going to still come up and visit you and sleep in your bed?
I don't know. I hadn't even thought of it at that point.
At one point, you told investigators that Stefan was quote unquote stuck down there until they could afford for him to come back. Were there plans for him to come back?
We had discussed him coming back and living with me. We weren't sure if temporarily or like for me to help him out with the place for a little bit before he can find his own place and move out. Or we were also considering talking about living together as a companionship. I think with my best friend who's helping me out with my child.
Because you told investigators that a lot of the reason your relationship fizzled off with Stefan was that your antidepressants. You had moved on to other people, had you not?
Yes.
And so,
This is interesting. I wonder if Stefan had moved on to a different adult relationship.
despite having moved on with other people, you were still having Stefan come up and visit, and there are plans to cohabitate with him again potentially.
Possibly, yes.
That's odd.
Maddie had the opportunity to go visit her biological father in the fall out in Texas. Is that a yes?
Yes.
All right. Do you remember texting the biological father, hope nobody touches Maddie or tries shit or films her under the bathroom? You remember sending that text?
No.
Okay, what the fuck? We saw the police pictures where they had the phone sitting in front of the door, Stefan, where you could record from under the door the whole bedroom and the whole bathroom and all of that. And she's texting the dad saying, I hope nobody messes with her or films her under the door. Like, where are you getting? That's not something you just say out of nowhere. What the hell?
Orange County Sheriff's Office back in February? Because that seems like a very oddly specific thing to text the father. So
exactly.
You didn't know anything about what was going on filming underneath bathroom doors?
No idea. I don't know why I would have texted them.
Okay. June 16th of last year, about 9:30 p.m.
Boy, it sure is easy to play the fool.
Oh, actually, I can actually think back to that.
Okay. What?
I think around the time that Maddie was going to fly out to Houston, there had been an airline person that had gone into the bathroom and placed their camera on the toilet to film. And I remember thinking, I don't want Maddie, I'm afraid of Maddie being alone on the plane because what if an attendant does that to her? Says, hold on, let me fix something in the bathroom. And in reality, they're setting up a camera.
I mean, I do remember hearing something about that, about an airline attendant doing that. So maybe, but because again, I try to look at things from all situations and all perspectives and all points of views, but that's still really specific and concerning. But I do remember hearing something about that. So could it be the case? It's possible.
This did happen to a girl. So I want to say it may have been concerns over that.
Okay. Now, June 16th of last year at 9:30 p.m. and 27 seconds, you texted Stefan this: Maddie's no longer sleeping with me. I can't risk it. What does that mean?
What does that mean? What the hell?
I have no idea.
How often was Maddie sleeping with you?
Again, sure is easy to play the fool.
Often, all the time.
Well, you keep on saying often versus all the time. Was it 100% of the time or not 100% of the time?
If she wasn't with my mom and she was with me, then yeah, she was sleeping with me.
And if she's at mom, she's 100% of the time sleeping with mom? Your mom?
With my mom, or she does have her own room, I guess. Like there's another spare room she could use, but for the most part, she prefers to sleep with my mom.
Okay. Now, my understanding is that you had some sort of period tracker that you kept track of Madeline's period with?
I had a calendar app that I would write what days she would get her period, yeah.
And obviously, Madeline doesn't have a job, so she's not going out and buying products that she would need if she had her period, right? You would have to do that for her?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
So do you remember her using any of those products at all in February? Because I assume you take the trash out, or does she take the trash out, or how does all this work?
I take the trash out. In February, no, I didn't notice her using any of her feminine hygiene products.
Did you have any conversations with her about that?
No, but I didn't notice until after everything.
Because it would have been due like at the beginning of February, and this all happens at the end of February, so she's almost due again in March. So you never had any conversations with her about not having her period at the beginning of February?
Oh my God. So here's another possible motive. Was she with child? Because I mean, that's the only thing I can think of as to why you would be referencing that. Oh my God. And you know, I thought this in the beginning. I even said it under my actual name in another chat. I know Dolly was tore up about it. But in all honesty, if the situation with Stephen Stearns is sick and monstrous and horrendous, and I've already stated how I feel about that fucking sick ass motherfucker. But if you have a child that's delivered to you on a silver platter that you've been able to have free reign with to do all your sick, twisted, dark fantasies since she was 8 fucking years old, and you still have free reign to continue indulging in all your sick, twisted fucking fantasies, why are you going to get rid of your, basically your muse, your plaything, out of nowhere? Like, had she not been murdered by him, God only knows how long this abuse would have continued. What changed in and around that time frame to make you feel like you had to do this? Was it the crush? In the beginning, I didn't know she was talking about a crush. And was she pregnant? I mean, because that would make sense. If she's pregnant, you're going to have to admit to the things you're doing and you've done. And if you think you can get rid of her without being caught, I mean, I don't know how you thought you wouldn't be caught. An autopsy, eventually when the body's found, is going to tell you that she's with child. But that's about the only thing that makes sense.
Right?
No, she's had other periods that have been missed or like super late. So I just assumed this was going to be one of those situations again.
Okay.
That concerns me.
No, I didn't.
Did you ever discuss her periods or lack of periods with Stefan?
I don't think so.
I don't know why you would.
It's my understanding that Maddie had to take Miralax. I'm familiar with that myself because of my daughter when she was little. So she had constipation issues.
Yeah.
Would it ever cause her discomfort, physical pain, bleeding?
Yes.
And how are you aware of that?
She would tell me. There have been moments. So we've gone to doctor's appointments. They've run a lot of tests on her. They told me why her body used to know what it's doing. But she's shown me if there was blood or if she's in the bathroom and she just can't go, like it's stuck. She showed me that too. So
Did she ever specifically seek treatment for tears or bleeding or anything due to her bowel movements?
no, I don't think so. Tears or anything like that. No. I don't think there was ever a tear.
On February 26th, the whole purpose of Stefan coming and taking Madeline to school was so that you could get some sleep. You had missed your medication Saturday night, so on and so forth, right?
Yes.
Is there any particular reason Stefan couldn't have driven your car to take Madeline to school and therefore not embarrass her and he could just drop her off normally?
Yes, but because he's not on my car insurance, I was very nervous to let him drive my car.
You did let him drive your car after this occurred though, right?
Yes, but he was very insistent because he wanted to go look for Maddie and he had a spare on his car because he had a flat, so he couldn't drive his car. So he just really wanted to go out. So I just let him, but I wasn't comfortable with it.
During your previous interviews, and you did it once today, you kind of interchanged I, we, or Stefan dropping Madeline off at school. Did you see Madeline at all on February 26th, 2024, that Monday?
No.
Do you know anything about how she died?
No.
Did Stefan tell you anything about how she died?
No.
Did Stefan tell you about his plans to go back down to Northport in your car that Wednesday morning?
Mm-hmm.
Got any questions, Mark?
So I'm wondering if that's what was referenced where they're telling the dad at the hotel, which we've gone over, that Stephen went to Northport while they were in the hotel room.
I'm getting close.
I'm going to jump through because I'm making notes as we're going on. So how frequently did Stefan come up here after he moved back to Northport?
I'm going to say
How many times total do you think he came back here?
2 to 3 times.
Do you remember if those were around specific dates?
One was like the week of Christmas. I can't remember when the other one was.
Was Stefan in town the week or two prior to this last time he came?
I don't remember. It's possible, but I don't remember. Everything is becoming a blur.
Do you remember sending him a text message asking if you can babysit Maddie while you go have lunch with your friend?
Again, it's easy to play the fool. I don't remember. I don't recall. I don't remember. I don't recall. Bitch, yes, you do. There's no way you don't recall this fucking much.
Just a few weeks before. I remember going out a few weeks before. I don't remember asking him to babysit. I don't know where he was.
Did you ever go to lunch with your friend? And he babysat her?
I did go to lunch with my friend, but I don't think he was here. I think Maddie stayed home alone for a few hours.
Okay. When you mentioned Maddie caught on about you guys being broke up, how did that happen? What did she say? Or
I forgot. Me and Stephen were having a conversation and she was like, "You guys broken up?" And we kind of looked at her. I'm like, "Why do you ask?" She goes, "Because you guys are kind of acting like you're broken up. You guys haven't hugged and kissed in a long time." And we're like, okay. So we just
how do you think she felt about that?
Fine. She didn't act sad or happy or anything. You're just like, whatever.
All right. Now you mentioned to me before too that you found her phone on her dresser in like her little bedroom area. Does she have a specific spot where she plugs in her phone to charge? How does she charge her phone?
So on her side of my bed, she's got a long charger. She'll connect it there and charge. Don't know how she charged it that night though. Don't know if she took her charger and moved it to the room upstairs. Not sure.
How do you charge your phone?
I would be real surprised to find out that there was nothing on her phone when we know about all the things that were on his phone. There's going to be some kind of salacious text messages or pictures or of some sort between him and her. I mean, I don't see there not being that, you know?
I charge my phone with my charger next to me on my side of the bed.
Okay, is it one that you plug in or
Magnetic one.
Okay. Now, when you go to bed at night, is there any kind of routine that you do with your phone? If you're texting, look on TikTok or whatever, and you go to bed, you just set your phone down and go to sleep, or what's that routine like?
I'll TikTok until I start dozing off, and then I'll put my phone in the charger, make sure my alarm's on.
Sorry about it loaded like this. I try to keep it from doing that.
And then just lay down, close my eyes, and hope not to think of too much, just fall asleep.
Okay, that night, Saturday or Sunday night, when you guys when spending this half hour of time together, was all you were doing was talking about gifts and counting her money, or were you guys doing anything else?
Just asking her for more details about the party and tell me like what I missed. She seemed like she had a really good time.
When you got home from work that day, where was everybody?
I think everyone was in my room, hanging out in my room.
Okay, everybody meaning
Maddie and stuff and Morgan.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right. Now it's obvious that you and Stefan communicate via text message and phone calls and stuff like that. What is Google Meet?
What is Google Meet? That is like Google's version of FaceTime. So just face chatting.
Okay.
Video chatting.
Okay. When her birthday party was planned, was this planned before you got your job or after?
The birthday party? I think it was planned before. Because once I saw my schedule and I saw that it was during a training day, and I wasn't going to call out. I considered rescheduling the party, but my family was insistent to just keep it that day. I said, okay.
All right, so Stefan moves out of his room, and I think you mentioned that your dad had plans on renting that room again to somebody else.
I know that they were talking about that they watched Sister Act. So what happened to that?
Right?
Yeah.
How was that room set up? How was Stefan's room set up after he moved out?
Pretty much the same. The bed was in the same location. The TV, the dresser, the desk, and the mini fridge. Everything stayed in the same location.
Okay, was the bed and did it have comforter, blankets, and all that stuff on it, or?
When he moved out, everything was empty. There was a mattress protector cover on it.
Mm-hmm.
But I had clean sheets and clean blankets to put on, like they're available. So
where were they available?
In the closet.
Okay.
And I did, yeah. I don't know they were there.
Do you know if he made the bed?
I don't know, but I would assume.
What did the blankets look like that would be used to make that bed?
They would be white cotton linen sheets with, they're white, but they're white stripes, different shades of white. So white stripes going down it. That was a fitted cover, then a sheet, and then the pillowcases. And it should have been like a warm blanket in the closet somewhere.
The same color, white or?
Maybe gray.
Okay. When you say there's pillowcases, how many pillows were on the bed?
I'm not sure.
So I think they're asking this because I'm sure they collected the bedding material from that room. And they want to make sure they got all the pillows, because that could be potential evidence.
I know that we had taken things out of that room before. I don't know if we used those pillows. I'm not sure what pillows were there.
Okay. Did you ever go into the room after you discovered that she was missing? Did you go upstairs to that bedroom? No. Okay.
How did you not check the entire house just to make sure and see after your child is missing? I don't understand that.
So when you go to sleep in your room, and you're either with Maddie or without Maddie or with Stefan, is your door open? closed, lights on, lights off?
When I go to sleep?
Mm-hmm.
So I have a cat. I can't shut the door. I have to leave it cracked. So it stays cracked with a little, like a door stopper behind it so it doesn't open all the way because my cat will just knock it over. Yeah, but we sleep with the door cracked.
Okay, lights on, lights off?
Lights off with a YouTube video playing in the background, playing rain sounds.
Okay, would the screen be illuminated, or is it something where a screen, like a phone, where the screen goes black and it still plays?
It goes black, yeah. It still plays.
Okay. Do you remember it happened that night if you were listening to those YouTube videos, or?
Probably was. I listen to it every night, so I probably was.
Does it shut off automatically?
Around like 4 or 5 a.m. But then I'll notice and I'll press play again.
Okay. Is it fair to say that you're easily woken up, or no? By sounds like that, or?
I'm easily woken up.
I don't know how you're easily waking up when you're taking medication to fall asleep.
I don't know.
Okay. Now, the purpose of you telling or having Maddie sleep with Stefan upstairs is because you told me before that you needed a good night's sleep. If you needed this kind of sleep previously to when Stefan wasn't there, what would happen?
You mean if Stefan wasn't there and I needed this good night's sleep?
Mm-hmm.
It depends. If I had missed my meds the way I missed them at night and I wasn't feeling, or I was feeling just how I was feeling, I'm not sure if I would have had her sleep, have her sleep with me on the other side of the bed, or if I would have sent her upstairs to the guest room. But she sleeps like a monkey. She rolls. She'll start at one end of the bed and end up on top of me by the end of the night. And she's a gymnast, I guess. But
have you ever sent her upstairs to sleep?
No, not for any of these reasons.
Have you ever sent her upstairs to sleep by herself?
Oh,
mm-hmm.
No.
I'm gonna need to wrap this up.
Okay, one more question. Does anybody use your phone other than you?
No, except for the day that we were sitting in front of my house and forensics was in the house. That was the only time I've ever let anyone use my phone, and that was Stefan. Stefan had my phone.
What about, do you wear an Apple Watch?
Yes.
Does it track any of your movements or anything like that you know of? Do you sleep with your watch on?
No, I hardly ever put it on, honestly.
Okay. All right. I don't have anything else.
So Stefan would have used her phone because his phone was taken into evidence. I wonder who he called.
Real quick, Daniel, do you have anything that you think we should know, Matt? Unfortunately. Okay. Good down there?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, it's 10:06 a.m. We will conclude this investigative interview with
All right, so that's that interview. Like I said before, it's easy to play the fool. There's no way, in my opinion, that she didn't know about the text message where Madeline was saying that she had taken some kind of different medication that Stefan had given her that was a bigger pill than what she was used to. And that these messages about, I'm concerned about somebody video camera under the door of the bathroom is specific to this case because, as we saw in the evidence photos, they had set the phone under the door of the bathroom or the bedroom so that, I think, like I said in that video, I do believe that they were emulating a camera shot that they had evidence of from Stefan's phone, where he had set the phone like that under the door to see potentially somebody undressing or, something to that effect. And he was obviously doing it under the door of the bathroom as well. And for her to say, I hope nobody puts the phone under the door of the bathroom. I mean, I would think that that's oddly specific. So was Stefan putting things in her mind like, well, what if somebody puts the phone under the door and records her? And Jennifer's like, oh, I didn't think about that. The whole thing with the flight attendant that was male that was doing that, I believe the camera was in the toilet. I don't remember. I just heard about it in passing through the news. and that's been a long time ago. But I mean, I don't know necessarily. I mean, I wonder if because obviously Stephen had manipulated Jennifer and Madeline too, because Madeline wasn't saying anything. We heard from the conversations from her counselor that she didn't say anything. So he had manipulated both of them. And I question how far that manipulation went. If he was saying things in reference to me, I mean, I don't know. It's just, the whole case is just devastating and sad. But with that, I'm going to have to go. I've got to get breakfast made and get these kids started on school. So y'all have a good day. I hope today is the best day you've ever experienced in your whole entire life. I hope you win the lottery. I hope you get all the love and affection you deserve. I hope that somebody else cooks for you all day and cleans the house so you can just relax and do what you want to do. And I don't know if I'm coming back again tonight or not. I have covered quite a lot. If I do see more information on Elijah Vu, I'll probably come on and try to talk about that. If I do plan on doing a live stream tonight, I will try to have it scheduled by 3 o'clock this afternoon. But I'm not sure if I'm going to be coming live again tonight or not. There's plenty out there for y'all to watch, I'm sure. Thank you so much. And hopefully we'll see you tonight. If not, then I'll see you in the morning. Bye.